Hello and welcome back to Endyre Radio. I'm your host Dino, and today I am joined by Silver, one of the many staff members of RNG. To start, I do have a few questions tailored towards you since you are part of the staff team, but they'll be mixed into the standard questions I'm going to be asking everyone.
No worries, no worries.
So my first question, and this is what I want to know, is what brought you to join the server? Was it through someone else, or did you just randomly happen upon it?
Just happened to pop. I was following a couple of different SMP Twitters and stuff, and RNG happened to come in my feed, and I've always been I'm a long time fan of D&D, so naturally
Right.
seeing the motifs about it and the logo and everything definitely attracted me to it. I took a look into everything, and I liked the idea of the lore that was already established, and already the beginnings of what the races were going to look like. So I decided to sign up, and I thought it was a neat idea.
It's pretty nice. I I happened upon it because Benny streamed it at one point, and I was like, that looks kind of fun. And I dug a little deeper and found out that there's Tinker's Construct. I asked former member Bun about it. Said that I think Tinker's is a thing. I was like, fucking bet. So I based my own character around that, which was kind of funny because I don't really have a good business with it, but kind of did some work with it. But
See, I didn't even know they had mods. If I'm being honest, this is
Really?
my first modded server. I had no idea.
Oh no!
I just liked the story concept. I was like, that sounds neat. I'll join.
Sounds pretty good. Oh, there's mods.
It wasn't until afterwards that I knew that there was any modding going on. So I was like, oh well, I better learn fast.
I wish I could say the same, but since I had seen streams beforehand, I knew there was mods. But my only issue with trying to get mods set up was that I did the dumb route and decided to install Forge itself, not CurseForge or Lunar Client. So that was a pain in and of itself. I had to install it using command prompt, which was weird. It was a nightmare, to say the least. It was painful.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I think we all had a little bit of trouble with the mods at first.
Yeah, no kidding.
It is certainly the trials and errors of having a custom mod pack.
Yeah. I probably should have used CurseForge because I had that already. I was like, nah. Let's go the hard way and actually download Forge itself.
Whee!
Exactly. I took that plunge like an idiot, but I'm still there. So, it works.
Hey, we all make it work.
Somehow. Still
One
surprised
way or
that
another.
I'm still upset with myself because it took so long, and then I was like, I'm only going to be using it for one server. So, yeah, there's that.
I still have to re-download the computer bullshit.
Aw.
It's been lazy because I know it's going to be a pain in the ass for me to put the pack back together.
If you need me to send you the pack later, I can.
I would greatly appreciate it because I have no idea how to format that shit.
Yeah, it's a pain. I can only understand. I kind of had the same experience with my drawing computer actually, because me did the dumb and unplugged it when it was trying to run a video game, and that broke everything. So, yeah, that was a fun day. Oh yeah, it was fun, but it's all working. Everything was restored because my brother is a tech genius. He gets paid. He was paid in the military to mess
I'm
around
jealous.
with technology and whatnot. So he's
Maybe he could have figured out how to fucking save my dumb shit.
possibly. I do not know.
Maybe.
But
Who knows? In the end, it's mostly just me being stupid and not having any idea how cloud works.
I still feel bad about that. That shit sucks.
No, it's kind of funny though. I did manage to get back the stuff I had from a previous reset, which is really funny.
That's odd, but
I didn't get my stuff back, but I got other stuff.
you didn't get your current stuff, but you got old stuff. I mean, sure, it works, right?
Yeah. None has anything to do with RNG though.
No.
That's just my shit going to crap.
So the next question is: was Ellie like your first character that you thought of, or like were there other ones that you thought of, or like possible different versions of it? Because I'm curious.
Ellie was definitely the first one. So she's one of those characters that I tend to experiment a little bit with.
Right.
I get like a couple of basic concepts and then I throw them into the world and I let the world shape them. So
Okay.
Ellie's only real concept started with the fact that she was an archaeologist. She was Scalekin, so she was from, the strain and everything.
Right.
And she only knew her mother, and she had never met her father. That was pretty much all I went in with, and like a basic idea of like what her personality would be like, which is, generally kind because she kind of needs to be in order to
get
properly
by.
talk to people. Yeah, in order to get by. She's very. She actually didn't start out small. Funny enough.
Yeah, I saw
previous. I was afraid to make her small at first. I did originally want to. That was one of those things that like I didn't initially go with because I was worried people would think I was weird if I made her super small. But after talking with people in RNG, after I'd gotten comfortable, people thought that her being small would be really cute and fun. Right. And I was like, oh, thank God, because that's what I wanted.
Yeah, I had seen like older streams of Benny's where Ellie was just the same height as everyone. Oh my God, that was cursed.
Well, that was also before we had more player models as well. I mean, we didn't have more player models, so we couldn't really customize our heights too much. Mm-hmm. But more player models is honestly a godsend. I fucking love that program so much. It really helps us with like immersing ourselves and being able to like better attribute like everybody's traits and things like that. And I really enjoy that. But Ellie was the first and only concept I had for RNG in the very beginning, and I was very happy to have her be accepted like right off the bat.
That is great. I expect people to have like, oh, I would have this character or this character just in case this one didn't work, but like hearing people like have like one character and be like, all right, this might work, might not, who knows. And that was the same case with me.
Like, of course I would have edited something if like Chap had told me, this character doesn't quite fit well or something like that. But no, there were virtually no book about Ellie, so I just kind of like tossed her in. Chap did forget upon me officially joining the Minecraft server, though. He did forget I was a Scalekin. Made extra funny by the fact that I was in Ellie's skin, which was quite blatantly a lizard. And he looked at me and he asked me,
"What the fuck are you?"
So you belong in the Jade, right? You're like an elf. I'm like looking around. I'm like, no. No, that was the funniest shit. He probably doesn't even remember, but that was my first meeting with Chap. He was gonna try to lead me to the Jade, and I was like, nah, I'm a lizard, dude.
I'm a Scalekin. You read my application.
Extra about that. So like when I first joined, I didn't really know anybody, and I was still kind of like getting my bear.
Right.
So I get into the server for the first time, and for the first like week, I didn't run into anybody, not a single person, and I didn't know where the strain was.
Oh no.
So there's this platform outside of Centris that you can find. Mm-hmm. Platform up in one of the trees. That is where Ellie was living for like the first week on the server. Oh, no. I was just like building a little tiny like observation base just outside of Centris.
Oh no.
Because I had no idea where I was supposed to go. I didn't know anything about the waypoints because, again, keep in mind, this is like my first modded server, so I had no idea how the map worked or anything. Oh, and my main way of like navigating through a server that I'm unaccustomed to is I usually stick my stuff really close to spawn because then I could just build a compass and I could always find my way back.
Oh no.
So Ellie spent the first week in a tree.
As most Go can do,
Of course. But yeah, no, that was until Chat found me. He just kind of located me, looked at me, and he was like, "Hey, you can't like live here, but like, you need help getting to one of the areas." I was like, "Yeah." I don't know where the fuck I am.
Oh no.
And it's also really funny because, like, I didn't know that we had a map of Endyre, whatever it's called. I didn't know that we had a map until Peachy joined, because they wanted to figure out where the fucking hearth was, and they sent the map to me, and I was like, we had a map?
There was a map? Who?
There was a map?
And you didn't tell me? Come on!
Pretty much, because, like, it was nowhere to be found directly in the server, at least not without, like, digging for it. It wasn't in any of the important channels or anything. So like,
that means it wasn't pinned, right?
It wasn't. So I had no idea. I had no fucking clue that we had a map this whole time.
I remember looking at it, trying to find out the hearth and whatnot, and oddly enough, I ended up in the part that I wanted to be in, but I had no clue. I had asked Jeff, I was like, hey, can you make sure that this is the hearth? And so where I'm currently, or where my home currently is, that's, like, my first, like, pin, like, yeah, this will be a good potential home. Got confirmation, Jeff was like, yep, you're good. I was like, sick, this is my home now.
It's okay. It's like the first time I had to lead Rose around, like, because she is a dwarf, so I had to lead her to the hearth, and I was like, it's like vaguely around here, I think.
It's somewhere in this direction?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, I know that there's one part of the hearth that connects to the strain, and then there's another part of the hearth that connects to the brim.
Jade and Brim, yeah.
Yeah, Jade and Brim, because, like, they're split in two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which I find really funny.
Actually, I think both hearths connect to the brim.
But yeah, they do touch the brim at some point, I do believe, yeah.
Yeah. I know
but the area I'm most familiar with touches the strain.
Yeah. That is completely fair. Because I know that hearth is where Peachy used to live, Kermit's old house, Rose's old house as well. Oddly enough, I found Kermit's old house. I was like, this looks... Oh! So that's where their house used to be.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else lives up there? Shelton, or Stitches. And I think that's about it in terms of that hearth. I know that.
Yeah.
And
we also have the IKEA over there.
Oh yeah, the IKEA that Dean canonically works at.
The IKEA. That's a very terrible place to work at.
Hey,
very sorry for you.
He gets the keys to the top floor. He's fine. He's an employee.
The trick is making it to the top floor.
Oh, he will. Don't worry. He's very resilient sometimes. And then the hearth that I'm in has me, Kermit now, Nade, and Twelfie. I think. Am I missing? No, I'm not missing anyone. I think that's it. But yeah. So my third question was, what was the original direction for your character? But you kind of answered that already. But I mean, if you want to answer it again, might as well, right?
Oh, what was the question again? Sorry, I missed it.
The original direction for your character. So for Ellie, what was her
direction?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I didn't really have too much of a direction for her, because I remember a lot of my inspiration initially came from one of the questions on the old version of the application, which was specifically like, you know, how they intend to interact with the world and the story. And that's where I was like, you know, my favorite thing about story crafting is I actually really like race and world building. Those are my two favorite things. I love creating new species a lot, and I really enjoy setting up world lore and stuff. So I really wanted to learn more about the world's lore in general. So I figured that, like, you know, an archaeologist would be a really good fit for that.
Right.
So Ellie's initial direction was quite simply just to learn more about Endyre in general and its history. But as the story progressed into what it is now, a lot of her goals have changed quite drastically. She still loves archaeology, and that's still like her passion and her interest. But at the current moment, the way that the story stands, she has put that on the back burner for herself.
Right.
And it's hard for me not to, if I'm being honest, because again, this is something that's very important to her, because the livelihood of herself and her friends and the world in general is kind of at stake. So
Right.
it's really important to her to try to conserve as much of that as she possibly can.
Right. Yeah. I mean, with the last event, goddamn, I'm. It's quite interesting.
We Chaps mentioned it before, but we are a little bit on a hiatus with the main story, just because, like, goodness, we have a lot of big plans for that, and it's going to take a lot of work and effort to get that all together, and especially to execute it in a way that at least a majority of people will find entertaining and engaging.
Yeah.
But I'm real excited for it.
Mm-hmm. I know I had talked to Chap a little while ago about how the Hearth arc is going to start, and oh boy, I'm excited for that.
Oh, definitely.
But
I'm really, honestly, I'm really jazzed for, I'll be real. We've got the Strain arc that will be coming up next, and that's going to be interesting.
Oh boy. The only thing I can do is wait.
Definitely. I'm really excited for it, especially because future arcs will be a little bit more moldable. Like, obviously we have like a main story that we're going to be telling one way or another, but there will be a little bit more of a player interaction ability with the future arcs, because they have a lot more room for us to update things as needed based on character choices and how everybody decides to interact with the world, how they interact with each other, and how they process the information that they're given.
Right. And I think a lot of the people had said, yeah, we want that more than just boom, boom, boom event sort of style.
Oh, most definitely.
And
it's part of why I've stated this from the beginning, and again, the Chap has also mentioned this. It's like, honestly, I loved the way that Primo's story was going to go, but I think I think largely what didn't quite work with the SMP in particular is one of the factors was just that people felt a little too much like background characters. It was very, very linear. There wasn't much that we as characters could do to change the outcome of things, or influence the story in any way.
Right.
And that was honestly, like, that kind of sucks when you're playing Minecraft. Yeah. Interaction is the whole point of it, and being able to change the world around you. Yeah. So the arcs offered a bit more flexibility. Yeah. And it still does. Even though, like, Chaps mentioned before, but with the Brim arc, obviously, we still have to kind of finish out what we already had written down. It's a little bit harder to change that, because otherwise previous events would not make any fucking sense if we tried to, like, change it around too much. Yeah. We have gotten to add a couple of little extra details that play a part in the main world and its story and things like that. And characters have unintentionally
found them.
They not found them. They have actually unintentionally influenced the story. We haven't spoken about it much because we don't want to spoil anything for anybody, obviously. Right. But while you haven't seen the results yet, characters have influenced the story. They have made an impact. Based on words and actions. I think sometimes the server itself even forgets that we do take note of what everybody's doing when we're able to, when we know what's happening. And we take note of it, and that can play a part into how the future is going to look.
So Dean is totally fucked. Noted.
I mean, maybe not.
No,
I mean,
no.
you never know.
Yes. I don't think you understand. He lied.
Ayo. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You're saying don't worry about it now.
I gotta fix that, by the way. I gotta do that.
I really shouldn't have said anything.
The tradeswoman is a whole other topic.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, she was going to be a one-off, but then everybody kind of
I was like, yes.
people kind of overshared, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
her character changed entirely. I had no plan for her bringing her in.
Oh no.
But now she's got like a whole backstory and motivations and everything.
Oh no, what have we done? God.
She was genuinely kind of a silly one-off that mostly I was just trying to come up with ways to get to know everybody's characters a little bit better, because sometimes it's hard for us on staff to see what you guys are doing without you guys directly telling us. So I found it to be a fun little way to potentially get some character development, as well as more information about characters in general and how they might interact with the world and with new influences. The tradeswoman genuinely did not have a story or any real motivation when she was first brought in.
Well, ta-da. Now she does.
Now she does.
And Dean is going to die at some point. I kind of feel it. Either that or he's going to be sold. Well, more or less brought into the inner circle. And he is terrified. That's all I can say. He's shit pant at the moment about that, because he yelled at fucking Mailbear about it, like, do you understand how fucked I am? I'm either A, gonna die, or B, work for her, and I don't like either outcome.
It's again, even all of that though, how that might turn out will be entirely what your character decides to do about it, and how they decide to interact with her.
Oh god.
I'm gonna say, like, and I don't think people have quite realized this about her, but her story and who she is and how she'll become by the end will be entirely character influenced.
Oh dear.
So it is entirely based on how other people interact with her and what information they're able to gather about her and talk to her about.
Alright, so I'm gonna write that down real quick.
Like, I definitely want it to be known to people. It's like, you guys influence her entirely.
So I did write it down, and all I wrote down is, we are fucked. That's, yep.
No, again, even that state is entirely up to you. It won't be apparent. It won't be super obvious, but that is also why I encourage that if anybody wants to interact with the tradeswoman at all, they just have to tell me. I really don't mind. I will pop in and I will do it. I have made it that outside of certain special events, I will not be streaming as the tradeswoman, but people are welcome to stream with me playing her, recording, whatever the case may be.
Right. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. So,
because at the end of the day, I do want to focus on the fact that Ellie is my primary character.
Your primary, yeah.
The tradeswoman is mostly for you guys.
And mostly for fun as well. Because I can tell that you have fun with your playing her.
Oh, definitely. It's always fun to get to play something a little different than what you're used to.
Yeah.
And I've always had fun playing more morally gray or dark characters.
It shows.
Oh yeah, no, they're some of my favorite.
It shows. Based on the don't worry about it when I said, yeah, he lied.
Again, don't worry about it.
So noted, gonna have to talk to you later about the interaction along with Bezo. And possibly
again,
Shauna.
anything your character can figure out about her, you are more than welcome to bring up if you so choose.
Right. Oh, God.
And, depending on your attitude in bringing it up will also change on how she might react to it. So,
Noted.
Always, I encourage people to act as their characters would naturally.
Well, he's going to be scared shitless, so that's all I can say.
Hey.
He doesn't know what she's capable of. For all he knows, he could just go to Brazil in an instant. Just gets teleported to the middle of nowhere. Just, guys, help. Oh, God. That'd be funny. Alright. So now, my next question, bit of a tangent there, but if you were to pick a different race, which one would you pick and why?
It's really difficult because I am quite attached to the Scalekin. As you know, I've done a lot of the character and just world building for the Scalekin race in general.
Right.
They're like my fucking they're like my little baby pet project. Because there wasn't a lot of information with them at the very beginning, largely because I know that Chap wanted people to be able to like add some influence to the races.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, but like these things would sound really cool.
Right.
And I talked about them with Chap because, you know, obviously it's still his story, still his world and everything. But he liked a lot of the things that I brought to the table, so I was able to like kind of keep those in there, and so that helped with shaping who Ellie was a little bit more, and the kind of influences that she would have had. But if I had to choose one of the other races, I think I would either be a Templar or a Snow Elf, because I really like how their lore has been developed as well.
Right, with Ralder being the recipes Deus, even though he's still around.
Oh, definitely. But, like, I'm honestly sad that not enough people want to be Order Templars, because I would love to see more Order Templars.
Yeah, because I think Deus was the only Order Templar.
Yeah, there were plans for another one to come back, and I do know that there's been talk of Deus has had some time to, you know, rest and recoup and deal with IRL. He might come back, which I will be glad to see.
Does that mean I have to remake all that glass now?
Maybe.
Fuck. One chest is already gone, and I've been using a third. No.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Just make backup. Big spare. It'll be fine.
There was so much sand. I can't dig that much.
Just come to Shirati. We have so much sand.
I know, and I gave some of that, or actually all of it in glass.
I have so much sand, and we still have leftover glass, so it's all good.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
see, is it clear glass?
Fine. Yes.
Okay, good. That's what
I did use a lot of it with the golem houses, but honestly, not even that much. But yeah, no. I know that Deus had a friend that he'd been working with, bouncing the ideas off of for the Templar Order lore, and I found that really interesting. So he had a friend that was thinking of joining as soon as they were in a situation where they had better internet.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we would have a second Order Templar.
Mm-hmm.
But genuinely, I would love to see more people do Order Templars. And if anybody has any questions about them or needs more information about them at all in the application process, do feel free to reach out to staff. We are more than happy to go ahead and tell you everything that you need to know.
There's a reason why they're there.
Exactly. We're always happy to answer questions. We have a Q&A channel, so whenever you have a question, you just pop it into the Q&A channel, and a staff member will address it as soon as we're able to.
Yes, or other members, for that matter, as well.
Exactly. Other members are also very happy to answer questions that they're able to.
Exactly.
We try to be as helpful as we can, and we do like seeing people interacting in the public Discord and just kind of chilling out there.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of people, and I'm looking through it right now, and just, damn.
Oh yeah, no. I love our little community. I think it's great.
It's awesome. Man, I still remember, like, first joining the public Discord, I was like, man, I need to mute this, but it automatically did it for me, because I was like, I'm going to be bombarded with notifications. But then I realized, you know, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But I still have it muted just in case, because you never know. But
you never know.
Yeah.
You know, I do love the community Discord, though. Yeah. I think it's great.
It's awesome. So my next question is, what are your overall... Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Nailed it. Mm. You know?
It's good. Edit it out in post. It's good.
No. If you'd seen the first episode, which I think you have, maybe I could be wrong.
I did
stutter a lot, so that all stays in. But what are... Back to the question, because we have bad brain me do English well. What are your your overall thoughts on the SMP, the other members, and the other members of the staff team. And next question will be also geared towards being staff member, but just
No worries, no worries.
overall thoughts.
Overall, no, I really enjoy everybody here. Genuinely. I was in
You didn't see
like
it, but I
a
raised
bad
my arms.
I was in a bad place for quite a while there. And streaming was a way for me to start meeting people and
Right.
I'm still not in a great place, but you know, I can genuinely say that like a lot of people on this server have helped a lot.
Well, that's good.
I can say this is like the first place that I was able to get like no offense to my youngins, I love them all, but it was definitely the first place that I was able to make adult friends in quite some time.
Now, what's that supposed to mean, Silver?
Ew. Look, I'm just saying, you don't know the struggles of adult life yet.
Actually, unfortunately, I do. I hate my job. Well, I hated my job.
Well,
place
definitely
sucked.
hating your job is one thing. I'm more talking about like shit like fucking having to worry about if you're gonna have power next week.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, shit like that.
You make a fair point there.
Yeah. it's like I'm not saying that you don't have your own struggles or anything like that, but it's definitely on two different like wavelengths, so to speak.
You said that there are struggles that I may know. I just turn to my PDM and look at it like, yep, diabetes.
Diabetes.
I was like, yeah, that's not a struggle, but it still is,
Yeah, but yeah, no, I can genuinely say I really do enjoy the company of pretty much everybody here on the SMP.
We did good.
Yeah. No, everybody's really sweet. Genuinely a good time to hang out with. Even when I'm not doing stuff on the server itself, it's nice to just hang out in VC with everybody. I can say genuinely,
I got 3 months.
like this is like the RNG VC is probably one of my favorite places to hang out in.
Hell yeah.
I love being able to chat with people. I do hang out in the adult corner a lot for reasons.
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
I do try to ping around as much as I can when I'm able.
Yeah, no, completely fair.
Nah, definitely. But you know, I think everybody's pretty swell. Pretty swell.
Yay. I did good. And since part of the question was asking about the staff team, what are the difficulties of being on the staff team? Because I'm curious.
Oh goodness.
That left tells it all.
Oh gosh. I mean, well, obviously, a lot of it is putting together the events. We
Right.
literally will fucking put days, if not weeks, into an event.
Only for the server to break.
Only for the server to break. I'm one of the primary builders. So I put a lot. I do a lot of the building. I mean, a lot of the building.
I am so sorry.
No, it's fine. So
At least you haven't had a build get destroyed because the server was broken. I'm still upset about that. I finished the
Like
field, and then I realized that when the server was reset to 2 weeks prior, I was like, oh no.
yeah, no, I hated that. That was awful. I tried everything in my power to fix that. I'm one of the few staff members that has access to the
console,
the console. And I was troubleshooting that for days. I was troubleshooting that shit,
All
trying to find any way.
At least you tried. That's all I can say.
Oh, definitely. I tried my fucking hardest.
But I rebuilt it in like 2 days.
But yeah.
And I was like, all right, hopefully it doesn't break.
But yeah, no. I was troubleshooting that shit for days, trying to figure out what was going on and trying to get everything back to normal. I was going through backup after backup after backup just to try to see if I could get anything that wasn't too far out. But unfortunately, I just couldn't. So the only thing I could do was get the backup that I had manually made during Nade's pirate event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
So that was
realized
the
at
only
that
one.
moment.
You know, that was the only one that would work, unfortunately. But I was able to. It did allow me to get in to Nade's area finally, and
Figure out what the hell
nuke
happened.
the thing. was
Oh, yeah,
it was a named Siren Head.
Why?
Yeah.
And how?
So we keep the dungeon mod around for other things that are pretty good for the server that
I'm trying to figure out
we
how
enjoy,
you,
obviously.
How do you manage to name a siren head?
Oh, well, I mean, you just name tag the fucking Siren Head and run off. They're actually not that, like, aggressive, really.
Oh. Get noted.
They're kind of scary just because of, like, their rarity and, like, the kind of mystery around them. But they're really not that difficult. So there was a named one around the area, and that was what was causing the trouble in the console.
Oh, no.
And and something about it, because we don't like to keep the siren heads around for very long in general,
Right.
because they're very buggy, and the server just does not like them being around for too long. So whenever we see one, we either like leave the area to allow on, or we kill it right off the bat.
Right.
One or the other. So when it's named, that obviously doesn't come into play.
It doesn't help.
Since we have our usual server rule of like, oh, don't kill anything that's named, a lot of like standard players will see it and just like ignore it because they see it's named.
Right.
So they won't kill it or anything. So it sticks around until it eventually finds a way to bug out.
Oh, no.
And that can ultimately end up corrupting an entire area, unfortunately. And that's what ended up happening, is it corrupted the entire chunk around Nade's house. You could not get anywhere near it without the server crashing.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it's very similar
sucks.
to what we had with Derek. When Derek had too many of a certain type of lantern and a bunch of Ars lights in the area.
God, the Ars lights.
The two of them combined ended
The
up
amount of entities
causing
there.
a lot of problems. Yeah, it was causing a lot of entity issues. It was funny though, because due to some misinformation, at first we were led to believe that it was just an abundance of bred geese. So if you look back at some of the old server art, you'll see like Benny had like made a little fucking a little image of Ellie with like a machine gun ready to go kill some geese, because I was the only one that was able to get into the server because Chap was stuck in the corrupted area, so he couldn't get in.
Oh no.
So I was the one that had to run over, and we were just like spamming the kill command, trying to see if we could just kill these fucking geese.
Oh no.
But it turned out the geese weren't the problem to begin with, and like Derek, he only had like 12 of them.
Oh no.
Which is like excessive, but it's not like game breaking.
Oh. God, that sucks. I mean, it's not as bad as the amount of Ars lights that we just found.
For sure.
Well, not we, but like Chap found it. Just.
But yeah, running back on topic though.
Right.
I will say, like, I think one of the other stuff is mostly, a lot of it does come with the story that we're trying to put together.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because, like, we on staff, a lot of us were on staff to begin with because we had a lot of passion for the SMP.
Right.
We were already super invested in the story. So we do tend to get frustrated when people will not think of like asking us clarifying or anything like that. Genuinely, one of the hardest things is the idea that people think that we can't be approached for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they have concerns or if they have questions about the story or other things.
Right.
We're not scary. At the end of the day, we're just friends with a fancy title. That's all it really is. We're just friends with a really fancy title. And, you know, we try our best to make sure that everybody's voice is heard as much as possible. And we're bound to make mistakes, of course. We're only human.
Right.
And for a lot of the members modding a server like this, myself and a couple of others, we have a little bit more experience. And, you know, but even then, like, we can only implement so many of our ideas. And at the end of the day, we rely on everybody to see that we're putting in that effort and more or less take advantage of those things.
Right.
Because, again, we're more than happy to help. Whether you're struggling with like figuring out your character, or you don't know what's going on in the story, or if you just have concerns about anything else, like, we're more than happy to help. And that's definitely something that we've been trying really hard to put forth to people, because we want to make sure everybody's having a good time.
Right. And I know for me, like, trying to bring up the whole idea of baseball was difficult, because I was like, who do I go to? Shit.
You could have literally gone to any of us, I promise.
I know, but that's the thing. It's like, who?
And even then, you really didn't have to even really ask permission, if I'm going to be honest.
Still, I wanted to, because...
That's one of those things that are just, like, silly and having fun and just having a little goof.
Right.
Like, it doesn't break the world or anything like that. It's just a good time. Although I do appreciate you reaching out, of course.
Yeah, because I know the idea for the podcast itself, I had reached out to Chap about it because I wanted to make sure it was okay to A, message people about it, and B, like, can I? And,
I mean, at
like,
the end of the day, you could always just, like... Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you can always just, like, send out a general message and just be like, hey, anybody's down for being interviewed for this shit, like, let me know.
Yeah, but I feel like it's weird, because I feel like when, like, staff put something out, more people will see it rather than someone just randomly putting something out there. And
for sure, but
I mean,
I don't know. I guess I'm somebody who's always just somewhat of action in consequence. If you don't pay attention, that's on you. That's not on anybody else.
Yeah, no, that's true.
At the end of the day, if you miss something that you think would have been really interesting, that's on you for not paying attention.
Yep. Me accidentally missing everything for an event one day. That didn't happen, I think.
Speaking of, you gotta remind me to post up the episodes of the series in the community Discord. I think it'll be
right.
I think it'll be fun for them.
I know the first one was put into announcements here, but
yeah,
this one
Chap always forgets to do stuff for the community Discord, so that's usually on me.
I was thinking
I'm in control of the Twitter and the Discord. That's all me, baby.
Nice. I was thinking
if you
about
want shit advertised in either area, you come to me.
Hell yeah. Like, I was thinking about applying just to, like, help with the community Discord, because I know the characters haven't been updated in God knows how long. I don't know if it still has. No. Or, like, the member section.
The part of that is wrangling the character sheets out of chat.
Fair enough. I mean, I could ask the people that, like, or not I, but, like, I guess you in this case, could, like, ask the people that join, like, hey, can you send me your character sheet for community Discord? But,
yeah, that's probably what I'm going to have to do, is I'm going to have to put out an announcement, like, hey, if your stuff wasn't announced in the community Discord, just send me your stuff.
So part of that would be me. I think. I'd have to look, but I think so.
I don't think we've... Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. I don't think we've
the wave before me
since
was the last one. Oh, was it?
Yeah, no, it hasn't been updated since Peachy joined.
Oh, no. I'm gonna go check real quick.
No, I'm pretty sure that's it.
Phone. Oh, no, where is it? There it is.
Oh, I think I might have actually updated some, because I actually had a handle on those.
Or whoever...
No, I did the Twitter one. I did the Twitter announcements.
Yeah, the Twitter announcements were... a lot, like, updated, but
those are the ones I've done.
The Discord is definitely not.
Yeah.
Because the last one was Peachy's wave.
Yeah. I'll have to try to get as much as I can off of the Twitter. I keep forgetting that I was able to do the announcements for the Twitter, yeah.
Yeah. Completely fair, honestly.
I need to do more stuff on the Twitter. It's just I don't have anything at the moment.
I mean, you got the podcast you can announce.
I do. And that's what I would like to do. I would like to there.
A passion project that just legit, I was in the show, I was like, that'd be kind of cool.
Are you gonna do more stuff outside of, like, just interviews for...
I don't know. I might, but for right now it's just like interviews and whatnot right now. Yeah. But I might, like,
for doing, like, after major
events,
event stuff. Yeah.
Get like a small group of people or something. Yeah. Like, ask, hey,
talk to like staff about any clarifying questions or whatnot.
Yeah, I often have questions after events.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind addressing them.
Right.
I love talking about the story. I love the story.
Oh, it's great so far.
Like, if you've got any questions at all, like, just let me know. I'm more than happy to chat about it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of convenient that the next question is what is your current view on the story? So that
No,
perfect segue.
As I said, I think some people get a little bit impatient because they don't see some results immediately, but there is a lot going on in the background
Right.
that staff knows about and that we've been putting together bit by bit. Honestly, I really do enjoy the story a lot. It's really exciting to me. I love everything that goes on with the court. Um,
Oh yes, the
oh my
court.
gosh, court. No, I love the court. It makes me sad because, like, I swear to God, half the members do not remember anything about the court, even though that was such a big turning point for us back in Ursarin.
Actually, I don't think I was there for that one because I asked you about it.
Yeah.
I don't think I was there.
Yeah, no,
Was
I
that the
think
one?
you had something to do that day.
I think I was at work.
To do that day. Yeah. I think you were at work.
Yeah.
This was just before your schedule got changed.
Well, because my schedule then was Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays all at 5 to 10. And then I changed it so that I could be 12 to 5 so I could actually be there for events.
Yeah.
And now I no longer have the job, but you know.
Yeah, I remember, like, this was just before you were able to get it changed. Like, you were talking about how it was going to get changed the next week.
I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah, no, we had the Ursarin event. So for anybody who doesn't know, during the Ursarin event, we had received a message from Sylvia, who let us know that his father often went to the town, and that he didn't remember much about it, but he did remember that there was something odd about the library there. So we all went off to go check that out. And we went through a couple of puzzles, and first and foremost, the library itself contained a lot of information, which, by the way, fucking huge to LB for that one. Major props to LB, because she went through the whole Discord looking for every little bit of information that people had contributed for each of the races and what they talked about and what they wanted to be a part of it. She took every bit of that information and compiled it into these books to make it canon in the universe.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That must have been a nightmare.
Oh no, definitely. Like, it was a lot of work. Like, this was a little bit before I had joined as staff, so I was still a player at this time.
Right.
And later on, learning about it, literally, though, it was like down to the wire for that event that finally they were able to get every little bit of a piece of information together and compile it into a book and slap it down in the library, along with all of the hints that were supposed to be included in that book to solve puzzles later in.
Jeez.
You know, like, she put a hell of a lot of effort in, and so did Chap. They both put, like, so much effort into that event. And I think it was really, really cool. Again, like, there was a lot of information that we got out of that event. So we went into the library, we solved all of these puzzles that were contained in the individual lore books that spoke about each of the races, which you can find those books, by the way, at the Strain Library. Yeah. So there are, in the out-of-character library down below, there should be a chest where you can have your own copies. But you can also just look at the copies that are upstairs on the bookshelves as well.
I know I grabbed a copy of the Dwarven Lineage.
Yeah, we also have some of the stuff that involved... We also had stuff... there should be copies of the books in there as well that involve the main lore. In particular, the court documents. And discussion of who the court mages are and what their roles are specifically within the governmental structure.
Noted.
And so we went down there and we learned all about what the court was originally made up of, which initially included the Frost Giants and the Jade Elves originally.
Oh dear.
Because the Jade Elves aren't actually from the Jade originally. They were forced out of their home in the Brim and were made to move into the Jade, and that's why they have the conflict with the humans. Because more or less the Jade Elves were refugees who were coming in to claim land that had already belonged to the humans.
So that makes sense. All right.
And additionally, during this time, the Jade Elves were so angry at their ostracization that they gave up magic.
Ah.
But Jade Elves originally were known as life mages, which included healing, plant magic,
If only you
all
could see my
kinds
reaction to
of...
that.
Yeah, I actually included some of that information, a little hint of it, in the event I set up most recently.
I picked up on that. That's for sure.
I do like to put stuff in there because I like to see who's paying attention. There was a lot of hints from previous events, both minor and major, that could help lead people around.
Yeah.
I like to see if people are paying attention.
That reminds me, I'm gonna have to talk, Dean's gonna have to talk to Ellie and
Yes.
Isildur about some stuff. So
I do think it's funny that not a lot of people have bothered to try to ask Ellie anything yet.
I will soon.
I think people are once again forgetting that she is an archaeologist and she does know her history.
Yeah, I will have to bother you at some point, probably this weekend or sometime later this week about it.
Oh, for sure.
And bother chat to be in character as Isildur for that.
Oh, definitely.
So, yeah.
And one of the other groups that were ostracized were the Frost Giants. The Frost Giants were originally called Wild Elves, who controlled force magic. Currently, the Frost Elves also... Frost Elves? Frost Giants. I know what I'm talking about. The Frost Giants have also revoked a lot of their old magic. They still have some magical capability, though, just like the Jade Elves do.
Right.
You know, like they can both learn Ars magic, for example.
Right.
Just not to the same degree as like Snow Elves or Templars can. But they do still have some of that old knowledge. No matter how much they've like rejected some of their old ways. That being said, there are a couple of characters out and about, some revealed, some not, that are from that old age.
Noted.
Characters that remember what it was like, even before the court, actually. There's a couple that were there before the court was even formed.
So ask the older characters about that. Got it.
Mm-hmm. You might get some information. But keep in mind, for example, characters like Sylvier, he's actually considered very young. He's just made like adult, pretty much. Like he's the equivalent of somebody who's like in their early 20s.
Right.
So he's very young. For him, the court's been around for as long as he can remember. Mm-hmm. But there are other people out and about that are old enough to know information from before that time. Additionally, there's just in general characters that know a lot of that deeper information. They know the names of specific important individuals.
Oh dear.
Characters that we have met. Again, all it really takes is people have to go out and ask questions.
Yep, and I plan on doing that some point. I don't know when, but at some point, because I need to talk to you and I need to talk to Chap about interactions. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Because I know I brought it up to you, like, I think after the event. Like, so I'm going to have to talk to Ellie.
Yeah. No, Ellie's a good source of information. In particular, if you just want to know general like history about the world and things like that.
Right.
But there are other characters that know things about the area. I wouldn't say like all staff member characters know things. Like for example, Benny doesn't really know everything. Obviously as a staff member, Benny knows, but as a character, Benny doesn't really know a whole lot at this moment.
On brand. Sorry.
And similar thing with like Biza.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Benny, if you see this, I'm so sorry. Please don't demote me back to viewer. I like my job
Benny
as a mod.
But yeah. And the more that you interact with different characters and the more that you ask questions, the more your character is going to end up finding out and being able to influence things. Right. Like I said before, we do pay attention to what characters are doing And if you're doing something significant that can affect the story, we do take note of it.
Oh no.
You might not see the results right away, but they will be coming.
Oh boy.
If you really, like, at the end of the day, if you really want your character to have importance to the major story, get them involved. Ask questions, go to characters that are involved in the main story. Find characters that are knowledgeable about things that are in the past or might be coming in the future. And you might end up with something quite interesting.
Noted. Oh boy, that'll be fun in the future. So that was a very long tangent. Honestly,
I like talking about the story. It's fun.
Yeah, it's great, honestly. So my next question, and this is a separate topic now. What mod would you add if you could? Because I know Chap has added the Berserk mod because, well, funny.
This one makes me so sad because it's getting an update, but it's getting updated to 1.18, so I can't use it. I'm gonna cry because I love it so much and it would work so well with some of the things I wanted to do.
Which one?
It's Thaumaturgy.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's so much fun. Okay, first of all, when you're going through that mod, I swear to you, you feel like a mad scientist the entire time. Because there are ingredients and steps that you need to take that are so specific and things that you wouldn't normally collect in Minecraft. Like, you wouldn't normally keep around a bunch of zombie flesh, would you?
Actually, I think I do have a decent chunk that I use to... Actually, yeah, to give to the goblin traders. Because they take that for, I think, coal.
For sure. But, like, outside of trading and things like that, would you really keep around zombie flesh? Like
No.
would it be, like, hurtful to you to be like, oh, shit, I'm out of zombie flesh?
Yeah, no, I outside of just getting coal, I don't use it.
Yeah. That is different in Thaumaturgy. Because every item in the world has some kind of significance.
Wait, is it Thaumcraft?
Yeah, Thaumcraft.
Okay.
Thaumcraft, that's the one. Sorry. I keep calling it Thaumaturgy because that's what I'm used to just calling it. But actually, a lot of things from that mod pack, just being able to play with it, influenced story decisions I ended up making. Like heavy influence from it. Again, if I had the choice, I would definitely drag it in here. But unfortunately, while they are updating it, and I'm very thankful for them updating it because it's been updated since like 0.12.
Jeez.
Or not 0.12, but 12 point whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hasn't been updated since 12. Now that it's finally getting an update, it's going to be updated for the latest versions
18,
of Minecraft.
Yeah.
18 and above, yeah.
Oh, God, that sucks.
Which I understand. I do understand because they have to keep up with, like, the highest demand. And the highest demand is for 1.18 at the moment. As much as I love 1.16, the highest demand is for the latest version. So they are going with that. And I fully respect them for it and don't have any grievances with that at all. I am just a little bit sad because I would love to bring it in. I think that would be a very fun magic mod. Again, you mad scientist going through it. You can end up opening up like crazy eldritch rifts between space and time if you're not careful. No, it's crazy, and stuff will come out of it and attack you.
Mess around with that in my own time then.
Oh, it's so fun. You have to actually have a sanity meter that you have to keep track of.
No.
Oh yeah, no, it's insane. It is crazy, but I love it. I love it so much. I can't help myself whenever I get the chance. I have to play with Thaumcraft.
Completely
I love
fair.
it. I love running through. I made like a whole wizard tower in Chapcraft. I made like a whole wizard tower and everything, which I did end up incorporating later on in RNG as well. You might remember it if you were there for the community fair.
I was, but I think I mostly stayed at my tent. I say in air quotes.
Yeah, if you went over by the tradeswoman's stall at all, there was a little...
Oh yeah, there was a tower there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Now I remember, because I went up the ladder.
I brought it over because I had first built it in Thaumcraft,
Nice.
in the Chapcraft server.
Hell yeah. Yeah, my answer to the mod question would be to add the Tinker's Armory mod, but
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
for good reason. I know why it's not, because the armor can get stupidly overpowered and very quickly.
Yeah, it's hard enough for us to balance.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one. I cannot remember the name of it, but there was one we were going to add. The only problem with it is that it basically killed any vanilla item use.
Why would
But what was
why would
really
it do that?
cool about it, it's because of the way that its weapon system was set up.
Oh.
Basically, you were supposed to be using the weapons and the magic from that mod specifically.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah. And it kind of rendered most vanilla items pretty useless. Like, and especially considering that different areas had different leveled monsters. So,
Right.
for example, so when we were first testing it out on the server itself, because we wanted to make sure, we occasionally want to make sure that if we're going to add a new mod, that it's going to work well with everything else, first and foremost. So we did put it on, and I was very pleased to see that both the brim and the strain were labeled as dangerous high-level areas, which I was like, appropriate.
Yeah.
Very appropriate. But yeah, we tested our standard weapons against them, even like some of our most powerful weapons, and they would barely make a dent, both in
Ooh.
creatures that respond in the high-level areas and in the low-level areas as well. It would have basically wrecked a lot of people's items, but gosh, the magic system was perfect for us. There was like a whole skill tree that wasn't even just specifically magic. There was stuff that would have applied to every race. Like there was this really cool, like, yeah, there was like this tree for like certain like types of fire magic that would have worked perfectly for the dwarves.
I could add fire magic?
Yeah, we were really wanting to bring it in. There was even like frost magic for the Brim natives.
That's chat about it. That would have been so cool.
There was genuine like nature magic that would have fit perfectly with the life mage aspects.
God,
there was
I'm
even
so
like
sad.
an area I'm super interested in for the Scalekin, which involved like toxins,
Oh,
like natural poison.
I'm hurt by that. That would have been awesome to have.
Oh no, it was glorious, but there was no way we could add it in. Not as how as advanced RNG had gotten by that time. Like if it had been at the very beginning of RNG, before anybody had really gotten a lot of their stuff together, then yeah, obviously we would have like slapped that in, no problem, no questions asked. But because it had already advanced so far, and people had like weapons that they were super proud of, that were like really ridiculously strong and stuff, we just didn't have the heart to take that away from everybody else, as much as we liked that mod. So it's something that
chat about it. That sounds awesome, because hearing about it, I want to play that mod now.
We might be able to bring it in for season 2.
Oh, hell yeah.
Depending on what direction we go with things, we might be able to. It's definitely one that's stayed on the back burner for us.
Right.
But again, we'll have to see. We haven't even really fully discussed what season 2 is going to look like.
That's the only mod we have.
that's it. That's all mod. Nothing else.
Exactly.
That'd be pretty funny. But no, it is something that we've discussed. But again, it's all going to depend on like what we decide is going to how season 2 is going to look. Which again, more things that are going to get influenced by how season 1 ends up going based on character decisions and choices.
Right. Oh, that mod sounds awesome. God damn it.
Oh yeah, I wanted it so bad.
Sounds awesome, and now I want to play it.
I can't remember the name of it, but if I find it, I'll let you know.
That'd be awesome. I'll ask Chef about it as well, but I'm sure he's forgotten it by now, or at least forgotten the name. Maybe, I don't know.
It'll be tucked around somewhere in the magic section of like Curseforge. We'll find it eventually. It was cool though.
It sounds awesome. Alright, so the next question, and this is going to be another topic again, is what relations has Ellie made with other characters? I know Ellie and Sylvie are together. I know that.
Oh, I
and
love
that's
their
my
story
extent.
so much. I love their story. There's like a lot of background that not a lot of people got to see,
Really.
and I love it so much. They are so sweet, and my fucking heart melts every time I think about them. And I'm glad that Chap enjoys seeing them together as much as I do,
I'm pretty sure
because I
that
wasn't expecting it.
I'm pretty sure Ellie's the only thing keeping Sylvia sane right now.
Ayo. She tries. Like, I will be honest. I at the very beginning I had no intentions of
Of something like that happening.
specifically. Yeah, yeah. The thing is
Right.
like I said, when I brought Ellie in, and this remains to this day, is that Ellie is influenced by the world around her,
Mm-hmm.
and how people interact with her, as well as her own convictions that have been formed as a result.
Right.
When Sylvia was so panicked about the court being mentioned in the very beginning and the way that people were
The way
ganging
that
up
he
on
shit his
him.
pants.
Yeah. And again, like the way people were ganging up on him because he obviously knew information that he wasn't sharing with the group because he was
Right.
so scared of the situation. Understandably so, given the fact that the court it literally will execute people that tell about them. So he was worried, and what with Bree's disappearance happening all at the same time,
Right.
he was very stressed out. And while Ellie did want more information, she could see that he was genuinely afraid and he didn't know what to do, and he was in a position where he felt alone in what he was going through, and he felt like
Right.
people were against him. That was very clear in his actions and in his words. And while Ellie did want information, to her, she mostly saw, funny enough, she saw a lot of her mother in him, being very
Wow.
closed off. Yeah, no, funny enough, Sylvia shares some qualities with Kadira, in that, he's always been very closed off with information, especially anything pertaining to himself.
Right.
He's more likely to try to look after other people than allow people to look after him. Even if it's in a very rough way. And, she kind of resonated a lot with that. And especially since the information about the court coming out, gave her hope that her mother was still out there.
Well, we know the outcome of that. That's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely get to that, too. But with that, she initially just decided that she was going to spend time around Sylvia and just check up on him every day because she wanted him to have at least some sense of reliability and safety. And it ended up in the two of them having a lot of private conversations together. They ended up just talking a lot and getting to know one another. And Ellie would start to see a side of Sylvia that he didn't really show a lot of people. A side of him that was much more kind and caring than he initially wanted to show off. There was vulnerability in him. And with all of that, that's where Ellie started to develop affection for him. She didn't really notice it at first because she'd never dealt with romantic feelings before. But when people started taking note of things that are factual about her race, like how the scent of a scalekin will change if they are feeling romantic attraction towards someone. They actually have like a hormonal change that goes with everything. Because like it's mentioned even in the scalekin books that typically the secretions that a scalekin has that protects them from the sun typically kind of smells a little bit more like sweat.
Yeah.
Most of the time. you know how it be. It's just oils.
Gross.
But during this kind of period during Scalekin's life, when they are feeling romantic feelings towards someone, that begins a change in them. And one of them is their scent changes. And people were noticing that. And people were pointing out her, like how she would wag her tail whenever she was around him. And that she was becoming a lot more flustered with comments from him or compliments. And she would start to realize, that she actually really liked him, but she didn't quite know how to express that because Scale can express themselves much more differently than other races do. Again, something that is mentioned in their lore book.
Right.
The fact that people tend to have a hard time understanding Scalekin because a lot of their language is nonverbal. And they don't make the same expressions as other races, because every other race in Endyre is very humanoid in appearance.
Right.
Whereas Scalekin are the only ones that resemble animals. Well, they obviously are not.
Right.
They do have some traits that kind of harken back to that. Again, tail wagging is just one method of silent communication of, you know, like happiness and excitement. But there are a number of other ways that they express themselves. And
Right.
Ellie knew that there wasn't really a way that she could express herself to Sylvia in that same aspect that he would understand. If she tried to do that, he just simply wouldn't get it. And it was very hard for her to try to put things into words.
Right.
And that all eventually culminated to the Valentine's Day event, where
yes.
where Ellie finally
That event
found some of the words to express to him, because Sylvia took Ellie home at the end of the event, and they got to talking again, and she was expressing how it was hard for her to say what she wanted to say because she is not really used to it, either from the fact that she's lived alone for so long outside of her mother, and the other being just what her kind is accustomed to. It was hard for her to get the words out that she wanted, but Sylvia was real sweet in that moment, and he asked her, you know, how she would normally express herself, and she showed him, and he did his best to reciprocate.
just
And they
drop down and give me 20.
pretty much. little push-ups. We love them.
Exactly.
But no, it was really sweet, and then they kissed at the end of the night, and that was adorable. Yeah, it was really cute. And she's kind of shared that with him, like, since then. He is, outside of Clement, who basically became like a brother to her.
Right. I think that was
Sylvia,
another thing that I knew about.
Yeah, Sylvia is the person she trusts the most. She tells him just about everything that she can. She tries to be as transparent with him as possible, in particular because her own mother wasn't very transparent with her.
Right.
But no, like, and
Dean knows a few things about that.
little private moments as well, when Ellie found out that her mother had in fact been killed by the group, the Void Mages specifically, that were experimenting.
Right.
She did her best to keep things herself together in front of the group. When she break away, she immediately went to Sylvia, because at the time Clement was away on a trip, so she didn't even have Clement, but she immediately went to him, and the moment that he acknowledged her, and he was excited at first, like he was happy to see her, and then she saw him and she just immediately started crying.
Aww.
And she opened up to him about everything that happened and losing her mother, and he comforted her during that moment. And I think that was one of the most important points for the two of them, at least on Ellie's side of things. You'd have to ask Shep for information on how Sylvia progressed with things.
Well, I mean, why would I ask you about Sylvia? That's not...
I know.
I mean, I could try, but I don't think I could verify.
You know, I genuinely didn't go into things with any expectations. I even told Chap when I did realize that Ellie had a crush on Sylvia. I straight up told her, I was like, you don't have to have Sylvia reciprocate this at all.
Right.
I'm like, I genuinely want you to do what your character do with your character what you think he would actually do,
right,
and how he genuinely feels about her. Because while I am a romantic, I'm also happy to work with how things could shake out regardless. Like, if it would have been a one-sided thing, I would have been perfectly content and happy, and I had plans with what I would have done if that were the case.
We love overthinking.
But we love it. But in the end, it turned out that Sylvia did feel the same way about her.
Right.
and that he had grown very protective of her and trusting of
We
her.
must protect.
You must protect, protect small wife.
He protect, he attack, but most importantly, he, he kind of an insomniac.
Honestly,
Chap, I'm sorry.
yeah. Now they're just like really close, and I love to see it. Like when Felrin was captured, God, Sylvir was gonna kill him.
Yeah, completely
Sylvir was
fair.
gonna, uh, because obviously, like this man had harmed both of like the most important people in Sylvir's life,
Mm-hmm.
being Bree, who was tortured on his command,
Mm-hmm.
and again, Ellie's mother was directly involved with Felrin.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellie's definitely got emotions about it as well. Obviously, she doesn't
Right.
forgive Felrin for what he did whatsoever.
I mean, that's completely fair.
Exactly. Um, though, for some fun facts, Kadir did not let him get away with everything.
So is that why he's missing an arm?
No, 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 no. The arm is part of the
Oh yeah,
experiments.
right.
That's
Duh.
listed in one of
I forgot
the
about that.
experiment notes. But there is a letter and a set of notes that I do personally have that describe some other things that happened to him,
Oh
courtesy
boy.
of Kadira.
Oh boy. So someone got to have a nice tasty snack, and that's all I know.
And upon comparing his height to Kadira's, by the way, he was very lucky. He got away with his life. Let me just say, he
So
was
he's
incredibly
short.
lucky.
Noted.
Well, he's not short by any means. Kadira is just huge.
Jacked.
She is. She is. She's fucking gigantic, comparatively. Yay,
Oh,
scalekin genetics.
I love that.
But yeah, no. So I personally have some notes and stuff that were made earlier on that,
Nice.
again, Felrin's lucky that his assistants were so quick to handle that,
Mhm.
because a fucking millisecond more and Felrin would not exist in Kadir's fucking hands.
Ding dong, your experiments were wrong. Bye bye, dumbass.
Bye bye, motherfucker. Kadir was a badass. I fucking love
Oh,
her.
hell yeah.
She's a great character. I love her. I got to
Only-
develop her in the background.
Nice.
People are always, of course, more than welcome to ask Ellie any questions they want about her mom,
Mhm.
because she's cool. I love her.
Hell yeah. Now, see, if
But
only
yeah.
Dean had that sort of, motherly influence. But,
But yeah,
nope.
obviously there's other characters that Ellie has developed relationships with as well.
Right.
Like obviously there was Clement, and she still has that because like obviously he's not like dead or
Gone,
anything in
gone.
the story. Yeah,
Still sad about
he
that.
still exists, and people are welcome to like ask Peachy about like getting letters from him and stuff if they really want to.
And
So that's a cute thing.
I wrote one, and I feel like an asshole about it because I
Yeah.
asked about it. And I was like,
Aw.
I didn't mean to be an asshole about it, if that's how it
No, you're
sounded.
fine. You're fine.
Because, like, I'll say something, like, in my mind it sounds fine, but then I read it, I'm like, oh no. I sound like
you're
an
fine.
asshole.
Yeah.
And
So
then-
Ellie developed a very familial relationship with Clement,
Right.
and now that Clement's not here and he can't tell that part of his story, they
Sad.
actually did know each other as children.
I think I heard about that a while ago, actually.
Yeah.
I think in character Dean knows
Ellie-
that too.
Ellie doesn't really remember much, largely because Clement doesn't look the same, nor does he go by the same name
Right.
that he did when he was a child.
Maybe.
Not looking much like that is kind of obvious because they grew up.
Yeah.
And even then, Ellie only really like saw him a couple of times
Mhm.
in between being watched by so many other people during her mother's like work
Right.
as a mercenary.
Mm-hmm.
So not chance for her to really fully form those memories, but they did know each other as children. His parents would watch Ellie was out working, and she would occasionally do things. Kadir would occasionally do things to help out the family,
Right.
but she would eventually have to go back to the strain.
Mm-hmm.
Also kind of a
Earth
common
cold.
theme that we have talked about. Scale, like the fact that you don't see a lot of Scalekin in the strain at the moment, is that a lot of them have had to go outside of the strain just for work, way that things ended up developing for them as a society and their lack of access to resources. Their primary work is honestly in warfare, and the last major war was the Templars versus the Golems. So Gilligan, honestly, being the only race in the strain that really requires a lot of like biological needs, like water and food and stuff, because the Templars eventually magic their way out of that shit.
Yeah.
So it's very important for the Skeleton to have access to resources. Yeah. And because they don't have those resources anymore, they have to go outside of the strain in order to find employment and to bring resources back to their families. So that's why, like, you see, like the ship outside of Taish, with the Scalekin on board, and with Cicero, the captain.
Hell yeah.
Things like that. It's like those are we love Cicero in this household. If you want to, you can actually go and pay him to be a follower for you, and he'll follow you around and fight stuff with you.
Noted.
Yeah, you could actually bring him along to fights and shit. You're gonna have a lot of fun with him.
Noted.
And he'll make commentary and stuff, and he'll make. That's awesome. I fully set him up to make commentary and everything.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, the custom NPCs are great. I love them.
It's awesome.
So yeah, so you can pay him an emerald a day, and he'll follow you around, and fight monsters with you. Yeah, no, you can have fun with him. He'll talk about his life and things like that. But yeah, that's just like one example. But yeah, the idea is that a lot of Scalekin aren't around because they have to find work in other places
outside of the strain. Yeah.
One of our other Scalekin, Rosa, she has been struggling herself because she is a mercenary and a sword for sale, and there's not really a lot of work for them right now because there's not a whole lot of conflict going on that involves enough people to make that a living. So
if only Rosa knew what happened to Dean.
Heyo.
That's a story in and of itself.
Genuinely reach out to Taylor. I know he would be more than happy to interact with people if they really want to.
I think that sort of thing has been resolved, and I do want to talk to Sean at some point about possible interaction. I just need to think of it in my head first.
Oh, for sure.
Because I know I'm bound to mess at least one thing up. I know myself way too well.
No worries about it. But yeah, so that's like a whole thing.
Right.
Getting back on topic, I know that Ellie finds a friendly nature with a lot of people. There's still like plenty of members that she doesn't really know. She knows of them, obviously, but she doesn't really know them on a very personal level. She likes Bezo, but she doesn't really know them.
Is Dean.
Yeah. Like, obviously, she gets along well with Dean, but she doesn't really know him.
No, yeah. Well, actually, no. The therapy.
Yeah, well, of course, like therapy.
Starting to know more about him.
I think what I mean more on that is more of a personal level sort of thing. Like, there's like a different relationship that you share with a therapist as opposed to a friend.
Right.
You know?
I think outside of the therapy that Dean is getting, I think the only like few times they've interacted is the first time that they met, which was at Sean's tower, which I did not expect to be in character at all.
But that was really funny, honestly. Ellie was just like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?
Who are you, people?
Who are you?"
Like, I wasn't expecting that at all. Like, oh shit, fuck, what am I doing? Fuck. So like on the spot, thought of it. I was like, all right, cool, we're good.
It's like I've told a number of people, but genuinely create drama with me. I love it.
Noted.
I love the chaos. I love the drama. I live for it.
Noted. Heavily noted.
Like, I've told people, like, if anybody wants to have like a one-sided crush on Ellie or like something otherwise like in a relationship with her, like fucking full conflict enemy or anything, go for it. I love the drama.
Dean is too nice of a person to actually create conflict. So don't have to worry about that, thankfully. So that's good.
I like conflict. It's fun. I enjoy it.
It's too nice of a person / kid to do that. Don't, no, I can't do that to him. I've already fucked him over once, can't do it again. Actually, twice.
That's more of a feeling. But
What's
nah.
more of a feeling?
But yeah, no. Ellie doesn't really know too much. She does really like Bree, of course. Her and Bree definitely got to interact a little bit more. She still doesn't know a whole lot about her, but
That's
she
fair.
does really appreciate her as somebody that she's been able to confide in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was one of the first people that Ellie told about the fact that she liked Sylvia. She went to Bree for advice because she didn't really know how to try to express it. That's how Bree was able to help.
Him? Your standards are way better. And not to knock Sylvia. I'm sorry.
That was Ralder's response to Ellie. Honestly, I thought it was really interesting that Ralder, of all people, held Ellie in really high regard. Outside of her, like, being just like, oh, this is like a funky little creature. Like, he actually enjoyed, like, Deus told me how, like, he actually enjoyed her for her personality and her conversation. Like, he genuinely liked her. So when she, like, expressed that she had a thing for Sylvia, he was just like, you could do so much better.
Yeah.
He's
Again,
like, you're intelligent. You're intelligent. You're
intelligent. That man is not.
You're clearly educated. It's like you can do so much better. I'm like, please.
Just let her have this.
Ellie's replacement dad.
Oh God.
No. But yeah. Bree actually helped with Ellie and Sylvia's first date, which was really cute.
That was when. Oh gosh. That was the double date, right?
Yeah. I'm so sad because, like,
sorry.
I could not get the audio to work on that one. I was so upset, so I was never able to publish it.
No.
But my goodness, it was so much fun, and that was just like another moment that Ellie and Sylvia, like, again, behind the scenes, got to really have like a lot of development. Because at one point Ellie ended up breaking away from the date. She was pretty overwhelmed by everything going on, and Sylvia went after her to check on her, and they ended up having like a full conversation. Ellie expressing that she kind of didn't feel like she was good enough. Something that didn't necessarily come to the forefront of her mind until she really started getting involved with him and developing feelings for him, because she is one of the only Scalekin that were able to get education in Centris, where she was able to earn her degree and become an archaeologist. But when she was in school there, she didn't really make any friends because a lot of people looked down on her for what she was, for being a Scalekin.
Racist.
Yeah, because a lot of people held this idea that and I am impressed that, like, a lot of characters have actually kind of gone with this. Shelton being a prime example, and
calling Ellie a lizard.
On just a character and storytelling standpoint, I love that this is a whole thing. Obviously, I'm like, fuck you, Shelton, in general on his character, but for story purposes, I do like it. And the fact that a lot of people don't view Scalekin as sentient people. Like, they see them having animal features and they liken them to animals. In everything that they can conceive of.
I can see that
intelligence. Happening. Yeah. From, like, their intelligence to their mannerisms.
Right.
And especially with how, like, foreign they are to a lot of the other humanoid races. So a lot of people looked down on Ellie when she was in school and expected her to fail because they did not think she was intelligent. They didn't think she was intelligent. They didn't think she was pleasant to look at. They genuinely treated her like she was an animal.
So legitimate racism. God.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why Ellie gets very upset when people refer to her as a lizard.
Yeah. Completely
because
fair.
for her that is again likening her to an animal, which she very much is not.
No, and like the way that Dean sees her, like currently, like he's been sheltered for basically his entire life. But when his parents moved out, he got a shit ton of freedom afterwards. So like seeing Ellie, he was like, "Who are you?" And like he thought, "Oh, it's another friendly face. I'm fine. Nothing's out here to kill me." Turns out there was that day, but he didn't know it until then.
At least Ellie wasn't one of those.
No. And
but nah.
He knows that he gave her a weapon, which she has like an arsenal of everything now.
He really does. I thought it was so funny at Eustace. Most everybody gave Ellie a weapon.
I don't know what the
Everybody gave Ellie a weapon, and I thought that was the funniest thing in the world.
I genuinely didn't know what to make because you were my Secret Santa. I was like, fuck.
No, it's fine. I just thought it was really funny. Like Ellie went out and she got like a book. She made a so I did this as like a fun little in character thing, because Shauna was Ellie's Secret Santa, and because Shauna likes cooking, Ellie gave her a cookbook about delicacies in the strain, which was fun for me to be able to write. And would I figured it could potentially offer like a lot of like little character moments between us, which I thought would be fun. But no, again, like the fact that everybody gave Ellie a weapon that day was really fucking funny to me. Like
I genuinely didn't know, and I was like, all right, Skilkin. Yeah. They're small. Well, this one is specifically dagger.
Like so, Shauna gave her the boomerang. Shauna gave her the boomerang. You gave her the sword.
Dagger.
Or dagger. Sorry, dagger. Sorry. There's a couple of people that gave her swords. Because Connor gave her a sword too. And then the main one that she actually uses, Sylvere, who was quote unquote Santavere at the time, gave Ellie the Fallen sword from the Kobold mod.
Hell yeah.
So she uses that one a lot. She also still has the locket that Sylvia gave her that day too. So I obviously can't really put it on her person all the time because it's a really weird thing to try to like draw onto her character model.
Yeah,
but canonically she does wear it all the time.
Yeah.
In canon, she does wear that little heart locket all the time.
That's adorable.
Yeah, she likes it a lot. It was very sweet. It was funny though, because like Chap had messaged me after that. He's like, you can use it as like, because what we used to represent the locket was just like the little heart vessel to give yourself like extra heart. And he was like, oh, you could use that to give yourself like extra life if you want. I was like, no, I will never fucking touch that thing. And if anybody tries to take it from me, I will rend this server. I swear to God.
The server will cease to exist. Watch me.
It's in one of my backpacks. I keep it on me all the time.
Nice. I will.
Sorry, that was a long babble, and most of it was about Ellie and Sylvia's relationship, but I just like it so much. Like I said, I'm a huge romantic, so that sort of thing is adorable to me. And
that's
I
sweet.
like being Ellie and getting to catch Sylvia off guard. Ellie was the first one to tell him that she loved him.
Oh.
She was the first one to say "I love you," so that was really cute.
It's not even his parents.
After their first date, too. Apparently, Chap was saying that he was going to have Sylvia go in for a kiss, but Ellie kissed him on the cheek first, and then Sylvia like panic flustered and just walked away.
I just see I have a picture in my head of just that instance. Just fuck.
He also flew her home, which was really adorable in my personal opinion. Or not home necessarily, it was the Brim Research Station at the time, but
But it's a second home.
Close enough.
Yeah.
It was still really cute. I loved it so much.
That's awesome. I know with my character in like relationships or like relations, Clement is his surrogate dad. Granted, he's not technically there anymore. I'm still sad about that. But honestly, good on Peachy for doing that, because I could tell that it was kind of taxing on them and whatnot. So it's like,
Oh, definitely.
yeah,
The character didn't really go in the direction that they had initially planned
yeah,
for, and it was a little frustrating, which, understandable.
hmm
When your character doesn't really go the way that you plan for them to, it can be really
it
stressful.
sucks. Yeah,
And some people are able to roll with it, and others aren't. And there's nothing wrong either direction.
yeah. And like I said, I'm
And
still kind of sad about it because
yeah, and we did what we could to help out, to try to help motivate him into potentially keeping the character. But there was, at that point, it was just a little too far gone, and that's just kind of what it is. And at the very least, though, Peachy is very, very happy with playing Vel now, and being able to play a character that better goes to their strong suits, and it's something that they can really enjoy.
Right. And then going with like the whole parent theme, Bezo is technically a parent at this point. I mean, a parental figure, yeah, to Dean, and like he sees them as that, which, oh boy, if you had seen the lore stream, ooh, heart-wrenching what was said to him.
Yeah.
You could, like, Bezo messaged me after and was just like, I heard your heart break when I said that. And I was like, yeah, it hurt. Just a little bit.
Minecraft Steve hurt us down.
The bone breaking or the actual... that one? Oh, no. Exactly. And, like, it was a little painful. And then later on, like, afterwards, because Bezo had ran off to the little cave that they have to cool off, and at that moment, Dean had admitted to something a little dark, and I was like, oh, yeah,
spicy.
Yeah, he like when he found his dad's axe out in the woods next to his skull, he was not ready to see that. Like that, his dad was his main motivation to keep the forge going, and with him being gone, it hurt him. And, like, he admitted to thinking of not being there anymore, so, yeah. So he admitted to that to Bezo, but, like, he pushed past it, was like, I gotta go, I gotta go. So, immediately ran to the garden, and there was Bezo and Clement there, showed them the axe and the letter that was there, and from there, that's when Clement started to like become sort of like a father figure to him, and where Dean saw Bezo as a parental figure as well. And then at the masquerade, that's when Clement had offered to be his surrogate dad, and he was like, please.
The masquerade was fun, but God, I was so upset that we didn't figure out how to update the voice chat mod until afterwards.
Oh, I know, that was a nightmare.
No, because, like, I really wanted it to be a special event, but, like, definitely people got a little overwhelmed because, a lot of voices. Because you could
hear everything.
Everybody. No,
you want to have a conversation, you can hear the other one down the hall.
Yeah, no, we've got it fixed now, obviously, but I wish we had been able to do that for that and the Valentine's Day event, because
right. I'm pretty sure everyone could hear me yelling around, like, ah!
No, I had to turn people down.
I did too, and like during that event, I was being chased by Kermit. Like, yeah,
I had to turn you and Kermit down.
Honestly, fair.
So that I could have conversation with other people.
That's completely fair. I was like, Kermit, fuck off, please! I'm trying to live! Trying to exist without being shot! Which, he did end up getting shot, and he pulled the arrow out like a dummy. And, yeah, that, ended well for him. Let's see, relations. Derek is his brother by adoption. Let's see. I think that's about it as far as, like, relations go, because, like, he hasn't... Oh, no, wait, no. I think I talked to Benny about him checking up on the scythe just to make sure it's, like, in tip-top shape, like, it's not broken, it's not, like, in pieces. I think I talked to them about that. I'll have to, like, ask them about it. Be like, hey, could this just be a thing? See if that's okay with them and whatnot, because that would be kind of cool, I think. But I think Shauna is another character as well, or Shauna's character. because that has started to become more of a motherly figure to him, and I finally got him to hug Shauna. Because
Yay, hugs.
I know, fucking, because Shauna had broken down like in front of his fort. She was like, "Oh shit, what do I do?" Like he was about to go in to hug her. Like, it's fine, stop, please.
Hey, quit those emotions in front of me.
Quit the crying, please. You're gonna make me cry.
Not in front of my forge.
Not in front of my forge. Because I think was it? I think it was Shauna that was streaming that day. Because she had said something about her child and like how Dean reminds her of him. I think I could be wrong. I'd have to ask Shauna about that, but like he felt bad. He was like, okay, sorry, my bad. But yeah, no. He said thank you to her for just being there and teaching him how to cook because he's no longer eating fried rice. That was a thing.
Fried rice.
That's all he ate.
Are you saying a shrimp fried this rice?
Damn it. So you telling me that there's a chicken back there in that kitchen cooking this rice? No. But like that's all he ate because I still have a massive rice field. And canonically, yeah. Dean has said, "Welcome to the rice field, motherfucker." I made that a thing. Yay. That was to Bizo. And Bizo had to fight the urge to say, I didn't do that to your mom. And I give Bizo props to that because that takes immense amounts of just self-control not to say that. But it was still fucking hilarious. And I think other than that, he doesn't really talk to many people, although he will, like I said, like forever ago, that he will have to talk to Ellie about the most recent event, because he's got some questions. And I will have to ask if they're, because I'm still sad that I wasn't there for the Ersurin, although for some reason I have the waypoint. I don't know when I got it, but I have it. I don't know. I'm confused about it, excuse me. Oof. Like who
knows?
Maybe no. Wait, was there the one piston puzzle there?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I got it. Okay. So I was at Ersurin, but not for the one event. Okay, that makes sense. Now I know where I got or how I got that waypoint. Okay. So yeah, Dean will have to, like I said, Dean will have to talk to Ellie about all that and schedule another. Therapy, yes, with an F, therapy appointment. I English gooder, I swear. I remember I asked Chap about this a while ago. I was like, all right, so I know I have the inability to speak, and I know that'll happen in lore. Like, it will happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It will. But can I just make that, like, a language that he sometimes just slips into? Because, like, I have... I will do it, I swear. And he was like, you can't really make it a second language, but like you could make it so that like he hasn't talked to people in that amount of years. I was like, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
And it's only happened once, and I'm thankful it's only happened once, but still, it's good that it's canon that Dean has not, like, it's like just a second language that he knows, because I know... Or not like a second language. It's just something that he does sometimes because he hasn't talked to people in 3 years. But I know that Kermit is, I don't know how much work has been done on it, but there is a dwarven village being worked on right now that I helped dig and, I helped dig out like a section that wasn't world edited out. Because for some reason that was just the only part that wasn't taken out for some reason.
Yeah.
But I'm helping with that as well. But I don't know if there has been work done on it yet, or since the last time I had seen it, so I'll have to look. But there is going to be a dwarven language. So...
Nice.
But Dean will have no knowledge of it.
You should hit up Minnie about that, too.
I should.
Yeah, we've actually been planning on, I was actually going to ask you and Nate if you wanted to help participate, but we were planning on setting up, sort of like dwarven village in the Hearth because we're trying to do some stuff with.
Yeah, because the dwarven town that Kermit was working on, I have the point to that still.
Yeah.
So
Plus, we just want more towns around, and
yeah,
we wanted to do some things with Ema's story
right.
that might involve being able to go into a town and whatnot. So,
I, I know I had
if
written
y'all want to
into.
participate,
Oh, I definitely will, because I had written into, because Dean has a notebook from his grandfather that just has all the like upgrades for tinkers and like what they do, but not the materials. He had to learn that from his dad. Anyway, his granddad had wrote, I had moved away from the village, and they were not happy that I did, but I needed to get out of there. And so Dean's gonna question it like, what the fuck?
hey,
And ask around like, do you guys know anything about this? The fuck? So that is something. And oddly enough, his granddad's name is Smithin, so that's funny. Spelled the way that you think it is, yes. Smithin O'Reilly. Hell yeah.
I mean, it's not unusual or anything. I mean, our own last naming convention more often comes from what occupation our family was a part of.
Well, I didn't realize that because I was just thinking about, well, what would his granddad be called? And so I was just trying to think of names, and I was like, yeah, Smith will work. And then I realized afterward, I was like, that's funny.
Ellie actually doesn't have a last name.
I think there's only a select few people that do have a last name now I think about it.
Yeah. And that's actually very normal for the kind of time period that they're in. Not a whole lot of people would. Those who did would have most often relation to either a noble family
or
and something having to do with that, or
occupational.
with their occupation.
Well, I just wanted a last name that I just wanted a last name. I thought it would be cool.
It's fine.
Unfortunately, I went with the O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Yeah, O'Reilly. But no.
O'Reilly weapon parts. Ow!
But yeah, no.
That's my jingle.
That's just more because like I'm like a weird history buff like that, and I like those sorts of things.
It's all good. Oh jeez, what a tangent on that.
Yeah,
going down many chutes. Please tell me you know what Chutes and Ladders is.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank God.
I'm 30, Dean.
I just got whiplash. Oh God.
I know what chutes and ladders are.
I'm sorry. I mean, now you're in the right to give me whiplash. Oh God. Because you just called me my character's name. I was like, cool. I was like, what? I think out of everyone here, you and Shauna are the only two people that have called me Dean outside of RNG.
Convenient.
That's fair. I mean, you're just taking off the
I'm
O.
lazy. I don't feel like saying the whole syllable.
That is completely fair. Shauna just does it on accident. Like when me and her are playing, like when me and her are playing Apex, she's like, Dina, whatever the fuck your name is, stop. Like, which one am I? Tell me. But honestly, I don't blame Shauna. It's all good. And I think Dean has a familial nickname, which is Dino, because I mean that was my original name, and I was like, well, I want a different name, because at first I didn't really have one, and then I was like, Dean will work. It's close enough to to my online name, and so I was like, familial nickname. How about Dino? Because I just started poking fun at like, all right, who told you my familial name? And then it slowly led into me actually having a familial nickname. So it's pretty nice, because I think the only two people that know are Bizo and Clement, because he confided into them like, if you want to call me this, you can. You don't have to, but it's there if you want it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Fun time. Why is my mouth so dry? Holy shit.
Take a sip.
I have lemonade next to me, mixed with I did just get the citrus lime or citrus lemonade G-Subs flavor, and oh my god, it's good with the lemonade that we have in my living or not my living room, my kitchen.
G-Sub sponsor when.
I wish. God, I wish. That'd be awesome. But gamer stuff. If you please.
Yeah, please. No, same.
I beg.
Look, I think I could go on one of those little waifu cups.
Give me 3 months and then I can. The one that hit me surprised me the most was Heavenly's, because I was like, "There's no way that goofy ass dude has one." I looked. Oh my god, he does.
He do?
And I ordered the Shy Lily one because, god damn it, she's adorable. It's the womp womp, I swear. So back to the questions. If you could change one thing that has either happened to your character or your character has done, would you?
Can't say that I would. I'm going to be honest. If there were anything that I wanted to change, I would simply just do it. Nobody can stop me. If I want to write something out of canon, I will.
Fair enough.
But so far, no, there's nothing I can say that I really regret doing.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I know.
And all of the ups and downs, I do genuinely enjoy with Ellie.
Well, that's good.
I enjoy how she's developed as a person. She's becoming a lot more, a lot less reserved than she used to be, which I'm enjoying. She is much more likely to take a leadership role than she would have previously.
That's good.
And I think that's been shown very well in a lot of the story events. And this wasn't necessarily anything I really expected from her. I do very much improv her. I just take the basics that I know about her, and I just try to react as naturally as possible. So honestly, a lot of her character developments have been a surprise to me as well, but I can't say that I regret any of them.
I'm not in that boat. I would not have killed Deed's parents. That is it. Because I remember, I was like, oh no, why am I doing this? Why did I think of that? And I legit wanted, I was ready to cry. Like, it hurt me to do that to him.
It's rough.
It is.
For me, I left it actually, I was going to mention this, but I kind of forgot about it, but now I've remembered. When it came to Ellie's mother, Kadira, specifically, when I realized that Kadira could possibly have a connection to what was going on with the Void Mages and such.
Right.
Because in the very beginning, I had mentioned that Ellie's mother had disappeared a few months before the story began. And when it comes to Scalekin, they are kind of accustomed to this just through the line of mercenary work. In that, your relative is either going to come back or they won't. Mm-hmm. And you just kind of have to accept that. And that was kind of what Ellie was beginning to put together for herself, is that she was kind of coming to terms with the idea that her mom probably just simply didn't make it back from her last job, and that it was, time to let go. But with what was going on with the Void Mages, she kind of had a bit of hope in the fact that since they were taking people for experiments, there was a possibility that her mother would still be around, that she might still be alive. So when I came to this realization, and again, this was before I was even a staff member, so I was still a player at this time.
Right.
I went to Chap and I asked him, I was like, I note that this is something that could be a possibility for Ellie. And I literally handed over the information that I had, and I said, do whatever you think is right. Whether Kadira is alive, this is in your hands. Mm-hmm. So when it was revealed that Kadira was dead, it was just as much of a surprise to me as it was to everybody else. I did not know what path they were going to take Kadira down. Whether she was going to live or whether she was going to die. Mm-hmm. Again, that was something I left entirely up to Chap and to LB in terms of the overall story on what would happen. And when we first confronted Felrin at the tower, he took note of the fact that Ellie had the same eyes as her mother and admitted to killing her.
Oh,
Yeah. Because
that's
that was
pain.
another one of those moments where Ellie took a lot of front and center and questioning him and noting that, like, despite the fact that she was an academic as well, she couldn't agree with the path that the Void Mages were taking with the merge.
Right.
That she didn't believe that it was worth that any kind of quote unquote progress was worth what they were doing. And in that moment, he saw that she had the same eyes as Kadira, and he stated that he remembered a very aggressive Scalekin that they had taken in, and that upon her being aggressive with him, she was thrown into the rift that they had made, and Kadira had been torn apart.
Pain.
Yeah. And that's something that I kind of take to heart. And, you know, it's something that I really appreciate regarding storytelling is I like having these elements that I can just hand off to the writers and I can just say, you can do whatever you want with this.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like I enjoy the surprise aspect of things. You know, one of the things that I've always liked about role play, because I've been doing role play for about 20 years now.
Jeez.
I've been in this kind of community for a long time. I've done Minecraft role play for about 5 years, but overall, I have done it for 20 years. And one of the things that you come to learn about this kind of activity is you have to learn to roll with what you're given.
Right.
Because events are not going to always turn out the way that you think they will.
Right.
You can only control the actions of your own character and how they react to the world and how they try to influence it, but you cannot, under any circumstances, force other characters to fit into the mold that you want to.
Right.
And for me, that is something that I have come to love and appreciate. I genuinely had no idea how things were going to turn out for me putting Ellie into this world. I had no idea what to expect from other characters, and even though I could try to make predictions about how they might react to her or how they might feel about Ellie, I could never truly say what that was going to turn out to be.
Right.
And I think that's something that people need to really take to heart with roleplay in general, is to learn to roll with the unexpected. And I guarantee you will have so much more fun doing that. To just let the story become what it becomes.
Right.
Obviously, there's like a couple of things that you could talk about if you don't like certain aspects. You can tweak things, but otherwise, it should never be something that you try to control too heavily.
Right.
Let it be what it needs to be. And you will find you will have the most wonderful experiences.
Yeah, I try to do that. Like I try not to like force things to happen. I just kind of let it do as it does. And
Yeah.
I found that like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I'll like with the last event, I just kind of, since I was one of the ones that had seen the town beforehand, Dean admitted to it being too dark for him to see the obsidian. Which, in all fairness, I had actually taken this from. I thought it was Minnie that had said something about it, but apparently it was Peachy that said that, like, they had a headcanon that dwarves have taped in lucidium. I was like, that's kind of cool. And funny enough, I have night vision on my helmet, so I can actually see in the dark now.
Yeah.
But he still admits to not being able to see as well in the dark because he's half human, so
Yeah.
it's not to like the full extent. And like he said, I couldn't see the obsidian. I couldn't really see much of the town. All I know is that there's just a town there. Couldn't see the beacon because it was black. He couldn't see it. Couldn't see the obsidian because fucking dark. But like it, to me, like that event was like it was intriguing to me because now I actually have a reason to A, talk to Ellie besides therapy, and B, to talk to Sildra. Because like I said, I still need to talk to Chap about that, which I might after this is done.
For sure.
But
like, I think those characters are still very much open, even if not everything relates to the direct main story. You can still get information from them and get details that you didn't already have before.
That's what I plan on doing too.
Yeah, and I think that's perfectly fine. Again, like while the last event was not a main story event, I still incorporated a lot of information that came from the main story into what was being put forward. Everything there was, well, one, approved by Chap, story-wise.
That's good.
So it does, in fact, fit into the world and what could possibly happen if you were to do certain things.
Noted.
And that this could very well be a possibility. And additionally, like I said, I do like to see, just check and see who's paying attention. There were a lot of hints as to who this person was, littered throughout the place.
Yeah, my original thought was that it was Isildur. That was shot down very fast.
Yeah, Isildur is not a life mage.
Nope. Well, I know that now, but...
Yeah. No, Isildur is astral.
Okay, noted. But I still need to talk to Chap about that. Like, hey, Isildur.
There are things you can ask about. Even Sylvir would know necessarily what. I mean,
he's
technically would know what a life mage was. Well, I mean, fuck, you can reach out to Chap anytime and plan something.
Well, I mean, he said that Sylvir is just out in the hearth.
Yeah.
So actually, technically,
you could genuinely run into him.
Yeah. I just not thought about that.
You are one of the people that could genuinely run into him.
Hold on, there's a sound effect on my phone that I'm pulling up right now because that played in my head. I was like, I'm not the smartest, but you know what? It was. I don't know if you heard that. Hold on.
Little bunk.
Just. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah. I live in the hearth.
You live there. Oh, go figure.
Just,
but not.
For
that is another thing I always try to like promote as much as possible. Is like if you want to do something with a character, you just gotta reach out.
Yeah.
Just gotta say something.
Because I did do that with Shizu, but that was.
Sometimes I don't even have a concrete idea. I'm just like, you want to role play? Let's just like fucking see what happens. Kanki. It's like we'll just like see what happens. We'll just improv. We'll just vibe.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just do that, and I think that can be kind of fun in its own right. You don't always have to go in with a plan.
Yeah, I did talk to Bizo a while ago about doing casual lore, and they had said to go through Shirati. I forgot. I almost said Kadira for a second. I was like, wait, no, that's not right.
No,
that's
Ellie
not even close to right.
did not name the town after her mother.
No, but to go through Shirati, like a little picnic there. And I made a skin for it as well, but we have not gotten to it yet. To go to Shirati with Ellie, just to walk around.
Yeah. I would love to walk around and do stuff. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I love that town so much. I'm so proud of how it came out. And I'm really grateful to a lot of the people that helped me out, too.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it.
I hold a whole-ass diamond chest full of glass.
It was kind of funny to me, though, that people seemed to think that we weren't allowed to make towns.
No. After the hearth one, I was like, okay, we can make towns. All right.
You know? It's like, did you just think that Benny was the only one who was allowed?
Well, at first I thought it was just the casino itself that was being made, and then I heard that it was an actual town. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Well then.
Yeah.
But then after
We've been allowed to make towns from the get-go. You can make mini events if you really want to. They don't even necessarily have to do with anything with the main story. It could be character progression for all you want. Right. If you want to progress your own character in a certain way, and you want to have like a little mystery and a little like craziness go about it, feel free.
Yeah. Like how you said earlier with like just doing roleplay and whatnot. I remember I had asked or talked to Shizu for like a brief moment because after the Day of Hearts Festival, like that event, Dean had developed a slight crush on Shizu's character, but that was shot down from herself because, you know,
look,
the
I'm all
age thing.
for one-sided crushes. I think it's adorable.
I was a bit disappointed, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, I can
No,
kind of
it's
see it now.
understandable. I was still
'Cause-
here for just one-sided crush, but again, that's me. I just think it's cute.
Fucking when
I'm like, oh, look at the babies.
fucking when I said something about it, I don't know who
Dude,
said it.
when I heard that like Nade and arson were a thing, I lost it. That was so cute.
Yeah,
I love
that's
the other little like romantic relationships happening in the server. I think it's so cute.
Dean's just like, eh.
Eh.
But no, oh god, wait, what was I about to say? Shit. Fuck, I don't remember. No, I remember because I had said something about it, and everyone was like, "Spill the beans, bitch."
Oh, we were so invested. You literally told us that just as we had found out about the arson and Nade thing, which let me tell you, staff was losing it. We were like living. We were having such a great time. We were like, "Aw." Especially because like admittedly, obviously there's like a difference between like the romantic relationships between the adults and the romantic relationships between the kids.
Kids,
and like the
goddammit.
kids are just like
Children.
so wholesome and sweet, and we're just like, aw. So when you came over and you were like, oh, like Dean might have a crush on Shizu, I was like, aw.
Yep.
We were so hardcore for
Fucking-
that. You had no idea.
Fucking Benny teleported me. I was like, "Yeah, I was only here to spawn a mosquito." If you didn't say anything, I was like, "All right."
Yeah, no.
Can you
Also,
go
though,
now,
granted,
or-
we didn't know at the time that like Shizu's character was
22.
was an adult.
Well,
we got the ages mixed up a little bit.
Dean is 17 in human years, but he is like 40. No, hold on, I have to do the math now. Shit. God,
That's
because
actually that would actually be swapped around. It's in dwarven years he would be 17, but in human years it would be
Would
a
it be?
different age.
oh,
Yes, because what you're doing is the species is experiencing a certain point in their livelihood, in their lifespan, whereas in comparison to a human, it would
Okay.
be much older.
so I have to
Again,
rework my fucking
Like for
one thing.
Sylvir, in terms of an elf, he would be
Child.
around the age of 21. So, you know, just barely an adult. Whereas to a human, he's over 300 years old.
Right. Okay. So wait, would my character sheet be correct then?
So, technically speaking, I mean, you can still put it as like, you know, in terms of a dwarf, he is 17.
Okay.
Like to a dwarf, he's the equivalent of being a 17-year-old. He's not quite an adult yet, but he's close.
Yeah. Just like I am right now. God damn it, 3 months.
Yay. Whereas
3 months.
in human years, he would be
45,
he's technically
or 42
much
and a half.
older. Yeah, 42.
Because I just did
So-
the math.
Yeah,
Because I'm playing it off of
like he's about 42.
yeah, I'm playing it off of the fact that dwarves age 4 times faster, but being human, half that. Oh wait,
Yeah.
no, that wouldn't. Hold on. 34. Never mind.
Either way, you know, like, and obviously, again, in terms of a dwarf, he's basically a child. But
He's a millennial.
comparing it to a human lifespan,
He's 34. Yeah.
34. Yeah, Scalekin do not age like that at all. Scalekin are very much akin to human ages.
Mm-hmm. That is completely
One of
fair.
the few, funny enough.
I
One of the few, funny enough. I think orcs are the only other ones that
are closer to like humans, right? Okay.
yeah, in terms of like how they age.
Mhm.
Oh wait, no, actually, wait.
Humans are the
No,
closest.
no. Orcs do live longer. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, no, sorry, my mistake. So yeah, no, it's just Scalekin and humans.
You know what's closer to aging to humans than other humans? Nothing. Just humans.
Orcs, if I remember correctly, actually have a lifespan more akin to, similar to frost giants.
Okay.
Yeah. Who also live like long lifespans.
Right. Excuse me. Excuse me.
And
again,
then you
jeez.
have like elves that can live like ages, and Templars who live until somebody kills them.
Yes. And spirits and reds, of course.
Yeah, but they're technically not alive.
They're dead, so they've already been there, done that.
They have skipped aging.
A certain wraith has died more than once. Sorry, Sean. Oh, I just got an idea.
Fun.
Talk about that later. But no, like after that got shut down, I was kind of sad. I was like, damn. Because I had a little bit of hope, but at the same time, I was like, maybe not. But never know.
I mean, at the very least, you asked. You could have just sat there and done nothing, and you would have just sat there wondering.
Help.
Again, I've always said the worst anybody can say is no.
People can prove you wrong. People have been laughed at, but that's a different story.
That's different, but
that's IRL,
for the most part. Yeah, that's different shit.
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah, I think other than that, that's the only relations that Dean has. Because I know when I talked with Chap, he said that people see him as like a dick, or see Sylvia as a dick, but Dean's like, who's this guy? I've seen him like twice, maybe 3 times if I'm lucky. Don't really see him that much. Don't see him as a dick, so yeah, that's to Dean's extent. That's him talking with Sylvia and whatnot. But yeah. Other than that, I think that's the only like relations that I have with other people or with other members and their characters. Jeez. So hold on. We went from changing one thing that has happened to your character to back to relations. That's wow. We've done a semicircle. Man. Wait, hold on. Is there? No. I'm still trying to think. No, I have the list. We're at the end of the questions, but I'm still trying to think. Because we're on the last one right now, but I'm still trying to think. Like as I said, I would change. Back to the original question, like having Dean's parents gone, I would change that they would still be alive. But what I've done with it is interesting because Dean did not know that his mom had experimented with his arm until like a couple months ago or something like that. I don't remember, but like he didn't know about that, and he has like a very faint memory, which that room that I'd posted in character lore, like the all concrete room with like the iron scattered about and redstone on the floor. Yeah. That's just like a small little room that I'm gonna be using to like put his memories in. Yeah. And one of the first one that I've written, I need to write more. All he remembers from after getting his arm just gone, pretty much, is that his dad was carrying him to his bed with like just his arm just pissing blood. But they got it to stop because I don't know why I chose iron as the material to cut his arm, but fucking it works, I guess. Had somewhat cauterized it, but at the same time it was still dripping blood, just pissing, as I said. But they managed to clean it up decently well, and there was still like a little bit next to his bed in his room, and he was carried there, put there for I don't know, for a while, because like he was out for a while until they got the arm actually made, and then B, he actually woke up later on, and then like a few days after that they had moved out, left him to just be alone for 3 years, and then here we are today. But his dad's dead, got killed by a mutant skeleton, because there was a mutant skeleton skull next to the tree as well that he found his dad's axe at, along with his dad's skull and the axe and the letter. He received so far 4 letters from his mom, which he is slowly starting to forget about her, which if he had said something to her about that, she would be devastated. Yeah. But at the same time, I had this plan that Clement, Dereki, and Biza would go visit, but Clement's no longer a playable character. Sad. But yeah, he's slowly starting to forget about her, and I might make a fifth. No, wait, I think. No, there's 5 letters. Is there 5? Hold on. There might be 5. I don't know. I'd have to look. But I was thinking of just making one more letter. And like he would just like remember everything out. I just got a notification from Epic Games. That's nice.
Yay.
Yeah, someone accepted my friend request, so that's nice. It's fucking whatever. But he is slowly starting to forget about her, and so if he receives that last letter, he's... Oh, jeez.
Oops, sorry. Whoops. I clicked on the thing and I didn't mean to.
It's all good. But if he receives that letter, he is going to A, get really pissed, and B, he's going to remember everything that she has done.
Yeah.
So, drama.
Wee.
I love that. But yeah, that's the extent of like where I'm going with it for now. Because, like I said, Clement is no longer played by PG, which again, props to them for doing that, because that takes a lot of guts to do.
Yeah.
And honestly, I get it. Like, it's just a hard decision to make, really. But
this is completely unrelated, but I have just noticed on my PNG tuber model, I forgot to add my tail.
Nice.
Whoops. It's alright. You don't really see it much on my streams anyway. It's all good.
It's all good.
There's supposed to be a tail there, though.
I honestly kind of... I didn't realize it until you just said something about it, so...
Whoopsie doopsie.
Whoops. Yeah.
Sorry about that. It was just like a little ADHD moment for me. I was just looking at it like, wait a second.
I get that. I have moments like that, too.
I am missing something here.
Just, strokes non-existent beard. Something's missing. Oh, yeah. No, I get that, though. I have moments like that, too. Like, I'll just be talking to someone and then realize, oh shit, that's where that thing went. But, no, it's fine. I get it.
It's all good. It's not like you see it much on my stream anyway. So.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Speaking of PNG tuber, I'm gonna have to talk to Carmen about updating my old ones, or at least getting new ones, because I still have the old one, and I'm sad that I had to put it on the back burner. But model that surprisingly I made by myself with an app on my phone, but I want to get an actual one at some point. But that's something not RNG related. But yeah, that's the extent of Dean's like parental story that I would change. And God,
yeah,
damn, I was ready to cry when I started like thinking about it. I was like, no, I don't want to do it to him. And many people were like, but you didn't have to. But it's like character development.
Hey, as long as you're having fun at the end of the day, that's all that really matters.
And now back to the questions, and this is the last one. So the server split up into 4 different regions. Out of all of them, what is your favorite?
Genuinely, this is gonna be really biased of me. It's definitely the strain.
Strain, yep.
Yeah, no, honestly, I love a lot of the development that people have put into the strain. Right. I definitely put a lot of work into developing the strain, and I feel like it tends to be one of the overlooked regions. And I know a large part of it is because it's like it's the only region that lacks quote unquote potentially pretty characters. Gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Like
unfortunately, I see that.
The Jade and the Brim are popular because elves, and humans, of course. Humans have the potential of being pretty, whereas the strain has Templars
Templars where you don't get to see their face, golems,
Most of the time, you
and
don't get to see their face.
golems,
And then Scalekin, which everybody, even outside of RNG, will be like, that's a lizard.
yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, that's not fair. I think Scalekin can be pretty too. And I think
And they
Ellie
can
is a
be.
good testament to that.
Yeah.
I think
agree
Ellie's
on that.
very pretty.
Yeah.
She has a very special charm of her own.
Yeah, and I agree on that.
This is my advertisement to say make more lizards. I just want more Scalekin. I want to share all my lore with them and just be like, let's be all cool together.
We only have 3.
I just want to hang out.
We only have 3. One of them is you. We got Spider, and we got
Rosa, who isn't on very much at the moment.
I know. There's a lot of people that haven't been on.
Like, please,
it's like, damn.
Please, just more Scalekin. I want them. I crave them. I might be biased. I don't care.
If I get around to it, I will talk to you about just making an NPC that is just Scalekin.
No, I do like making the NPC Scalekins, but I definitely want more player Scalekin for sure. Cicero. We still have to do that at some point. We planned on having like another like high seas adventure where we bring the Scalekin back to the strain.
I fucking learned Pirates of the Caribbean with the fucking music mod.
Yeah,
and I could still play it.
We still gotta get that together. Unfortunately, a lot of the little stand and Scalekin that we had kind of vanished and possibly died.
I remember there was just one in the nether roof. I was like, how the fuck did you get here? And it was Craig.
That is the unfortunate challenge of using actual mobs as opposed to NPCs.
Yeah. I remember I found Craig in the nether. I was like, what are you doing here? Go back. And I think I said something about it. I was like, I found Craig in the nether.
Yeah.
I think Benny was on at the time. I was like, how? And she said, search just here. It was so confusing. I know when I said this to Chat that he was kind of shocked. Like, my favorite area is the Jade, only because of Dark Oak. That is it. That is my all-time favorite one.
I get you there. I've actually always really liked the desert region in Minecraft in general, but I think that's largely because I just like going into temples and looting them.
Ah, yes, loot, my favorite.
Loot.
Delicious.
You know, fucking the terrain's great though. I also just really like the colors from the mesas and whatnot. I'm glad that got to be part of the strain, the mesas alongside the desert. I think that looks really nice.
It does.
Ellie primarily lives in the mesas, so that's been really fun. She gets to really blend in with all the colorful atmosphere. It's great.
Colors.
You know, I find it a lot of fun though, and honestly, especially with since we have the Astral Sorcery mod, the sky looks awesome.
It does.
All the time.
I've noticed that in the Nether you can see the northern lights, and it's weird.
Don't mind it. Don't worry about it.
There was one time it was just bright. I was like, hey guys, I see Aurora Borealis in the Nether.
Aurora Borealis at this time of year,
at this time of day, localized entirely within the Nether? Yes. May I see it? No. It scared the shit out of me. I was like, what the fuck?
It's just one of the funky, fresh hot takes about being an Endyre. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you just see the Aurora Borealis no matter what.
Cool kids. I'm excited though. When we begin the strain arc, we will be able to start onboarding people again. I'm really excited, and I want to see people's stuff.
I know Chap was talking about it, that there are a lot of people just on the back burner, and he feels so bad about it, and I completely get it.
Oh, we always do. That's always like a thing. It's like just because we haven't gotten in contact with you during one wave doesn't mean that we've necessarily rejected your application. Yeah. It's often just like we already onboarded a lot of people. We have to wait. But there's like a lot of people that we have like some potential prospects with, and they're all lots of interesting characters. And I do hope that they stick around, but I understand if they don't. We've had a couple of those where people just, they ended up leaving the server for one reason or another,
Right.
and they couldn't stick around. So unfortunately, their character could not be used. But
Mm-hmm.
goodness, there's some good ones in there, and I really hope that we get to onboard them. Especially again, we
Yeah.
will be starting the Strain arc here fairly soon. We're
Mm-hmm.
we're at the end of the Brim arc. Just about. We've only got like a couple of more events to do with it before the Brim arc is over.
Right.
And then once we've got that going on, we will be starting the Strain arc, which, again, we would love some more Strain members. Hey, casual advertisement. Especially golems. We were sadly low on golems. We
We
had
have
a couple for a while, and now
I
we're
think we
just down
just
to one.
no, because we have two, but one isn't on as much, or on all like from what I've seen at all. But
No, they haven't been on in ages. We're pretty sure they're not in the SMP anymore.
I think they're still in the Discord.
Yeah, but they don't speak or anything. So
Yeah, sad.
we're gonna have to do a purge on that soon enough.
Yeah.
But Bizo is the only golem, and it is very sad.
He's
But again, if anybody has questions about the different races, the golems are another really interesting one.
Mm-hmm. And again, players will either staff or players or Shep himself will answer the questions.
Golems are basically Detroit Become Human robots. Am I wrong?
No. You're 100% right, and I hate it.
It's just Detroit Become Human if Detroit was really sandy.
If Detroit Become Human was just rock.
But what if rock?
Fucking the lore for it. Just
I'm not
the lore
wrong.
book. The lore book just says Detroit Become Human, but rock.
Rock.
That's all it says. I swear. If that happens, I will actually laugh at it. Like,
Please. Please give it to me.
I keep telling people that if I find like a sign or like a book or something that just says Krakoon on it, I will piss my pants laughing. And during the Dave Hart's Festival, Sean walked up to me and was like, "Hey, Dino, here." Handed me a book and guess what was in it. At that moment, I was like,
I am still very sad that I was the unintentional cause of the death of the first Krakoon.
I know, I was there. I watched it happen too, and I was so upset. I was like, Krakoon, no! And then Cracked Dose died as well, and now we're on Cracked Trace, which now lives in the basement of the cabin.
I obtained both Crack 2 and Crack Trace. Because I felt so bad about accidentally killing Krakoon.
There's just something about you being around animals that just makes them not want to be alive, and I don't get it.
I don't get it. My animals are fine. Everybody else's is just
First bird, then Krakoon.
With the exception of Asmodeus, may he rest in peace. And I wasn't even around for that. That was other people being around him.
Yeah, I'm still
he
sorry
couldn't
about
even defend himself.
Even with that OP sword that I gave him.
No, I still have that on me. That'll go to his successor.
Damn it.
Upon when I find a worthy one, it will go to his successor.
I'm still scared of it, I will be honest. That sword.
Good. As they should be. I wanted him to have ridiculous shit.
Well, I think the broad axe is the highest damage. I'd have to look or do some research on it. But I'm pretty sure the broad axe is the highest damage output with a strength 3 potion.
Yeah.
I'm still scared of it. Because there are only 2 people on the server that have one, I think. One of those being Bizo, the other one being Bree. And Dean is scared of that. Out of all the people to give that to, good thing gave it to the most gentle people.
Yeah.
But still, he is scared of it. And rightfully so. Because, he's a tiny dwarf. Well, I mean, tall according to dwarf standards, but still tiny. because he is 5'2". Not your standard 4 foot or something like that.
I'm gonna poke gentle fun at Nade when he wanted to be like 6'2" as a dwarf, and we were like, no.
No.
No tall dwarfs.
Like, the way that I see it,
Y'all
since
are
he's
pushing it.
well, since he's half human, he can still grow taller, but like not to the extent as regular humans.
Yeah.
So like 5'2" is kinda where I'm gonna have him like peak out at, maybe 5'3" if I'm feeling it, but that's the extent of his growth, because he's
that does remind me. I do want to put out there for people who are watching who are not part of RNG, having a mixed character who is mixed of two different races in Endyre, that is
completely
purely
fine.
It is purely flavor text. You still have to adhere to the rules of one or the other.
Shit, so 5'2" is probably the max.
Rules and appearance. Yeah, rules and appearance. You have to adhere to one or the other. It is purely flavor text.
Well,
like technically, Bray is half elf, half snow elf, I do believe in particular, but they are not allowed to use elf magic.
Yeah.
Or have the appearance of an elf. They look very much, for all intents and purposes,
human.
Like a human. It was the same thing with Clement. Clement is technically part snow elf, but he has the appearance and adheres to the rules of a orc. We don't mind flavor text things, but you can't try to like mix
both
traits and abilities. No, thank you. Sorry.
Shit, so I might be breaking a rule with that with Dean.
Just be careful again. You can have his flavor text, but you can't screw
around
around with the other racist stuff.
At first he was 5 foot even, like that was his height for a while, and then random growth spurt 2 inches.
Yeah, I think 2 inches is fine. I think currently Nate is at the cap for dwarves. Yeah, you'll have to double check and see what his height is, but he is at the height limit cap.
Okay, I'll ask him about it. Because I like how I pictured it, since he's half human, half dwarf. He doesn't grow at the normal rate, but he does get taller. But
yeah,
like double. So like he just grew 2 inches overnight.
I'm pretty sure your stockiness might be something you can play around with. Dwarves tend to be stocky, so if you wanted to play around with like quote unquote human traits, maybe he's not so stocky.
No, like how I have him is that he's decently strong. Because he's lugging around parts all day.
Scrawny.
Well, according to Shauna, lighter than
other
dwarves
so that's nice. Other dwarves are gonna look at Dino and Dean and just be like, "It's scrawny little thing."
Well,
getting scrawny.
According to Shauna, he's lighter than Wilt, which is not good.
Nah, that's just Shauna exaggerating.
Yeah, well, I mean, he ate rice for what, 3 years, so.
Yeah, but there's no way you're lighter than Wilt.
No.
No way in any universe. Unless Wilt is carrying weights around on her own.
Imagine pulling a Goku.
She's just secretly hiding weights underneath all the leaves.
100-pound weights the entire time.
That's my new headcanon for Wilt. She's just secretly hiding them.
Walking around with weights, I love it.
She's like pulling like a full like Rock Lee, just like, she's gonna take him off one day and she's gonna like beat someone's ass.
I want to draw Buff Wilt now.
Please. Underneath the leaves is just like a whole like fucking bodybuilder.
I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna feel sickly about that. See if that's alright.
It'll be great. It'll be fun. Don't worry about it.
Awesome. Oh god. I'm not gonna be able to get that out of my head now. Damn it. Oh god. And I think another reason why that Shauna said that is because she wants him to not eat rice anymore, which, I mean, granted, he's eating honey glazed ham, which does have rice in it.
Yum.
But not fried rice. So there's more protein, there's more that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, he knows how to make honey glazed ham and Borger. But I think, no, there's something else. Shit, I'd have to ask Shauna about that because I do not remember. Because I think those were two. I think there was three things that he learned from that. I think. I'd have to ask. Shit. Ah, fuck. I don't remember. I'd have to ask. But to my knowledge, that's what I remember him learning.
Yeah.
And I asked PG about it. Clement did teach Dean how to make the veggie noodles because he actually did enjoy those. And he wanted to know how to make them. So there's that as well.
Sweet. Oh gosh, how long have we been going on for?
2.5 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, we went on a lot of tangents, so I mean, it's all good.
We're vibing.
I mean, I've seen podcasts go for a lot longer, so
yeah,
it's all fine.
I'm here to break the length of Chap's podcast.
I mean, you very much did. So
yay!
By a sizable margin.
I like to talk about things. I love talking about lore, and I love talking about characters.
Completely fine. I mean, that's kind of why this is a thing, because it's like I wanted to start it and ask other people like how they like the server, about the character, all that sort of thing, and gave a lot of insight, so that's nice.
I try.
I mean, but this episode is basically what I wanted this to be, and perfect.
Yay!
So, I mean, that is honestly, that fit my idea very well.
Huzzah! I win.
Huzzah! A woman of quality.
I've turned it into a competition and I've won.
I mean, granted, there weren't many places, but apparently a first at this point, so that's nice.
Mine. Yay.
Yoink the first place trophy.
Mine.
But I think
the competition is over after me, so nobody else.
Exactly. God, yeah, I don't think there was much competition to begin with, but
hey.
And this is only the second episode, so I mean, still a lot to iron out and whatnot. So
of course,
I think length doesn't really matter to me. I mean, as long as people are having fun with it and
exactly. I just like to tease.
I'm having fun with it, just talking with people about their characters and whatnot, and I enjoyed this. Granted, I was a bit nervous beforehand, starting, because I was like, second episode, why am I nervous?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah. I do have birthday things to get to for someone else.
I need to send a birthday message for Gore.
Yeah, for Gore.
But I will, I don't really have an outro, do I? Shit.
Yes.
I'll have to figure that out next episode then.
You thought about the intro, and now...
Now I have to think about an outro.
All about the outro. Yeah. We just progress each episode.
Exactly. The fucking thumbnails I'm going to have to think about as well, because it's just the RNG logo and then the thing on the right side, so a lot that I have to iron out, but it was fun to talk about, the questions and whatnot. Granted, we went on I'm counting on my hands, I don't think I have enough fingers. Yes, amount of tangents. But it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, of course.
But I will...
This will be a good point for you to add in that music I suggested.
Right, I do need to have background music or something, because I usually, whenever I'm playing video games or just in VCs with people, I have music in the background, but it's YouTube has plenty of free to use music. I mean, I have a couple of Spotify playlists I could just throw on in the background. Yeah. So fill in the awkward silence.
Some non-copyright stuff.
Lo-fi or something.
Yeah.
But excuse me. And again, oh god. Jeez.
Anyway, it was lovely talking to you.
Yeah, it was great, honestly. So